Anyway, video, YouTube. Hey, there we go. So this is, how probably can I get, copyright strike? I might, because there's, like, movie clips in here, but I don't know, we'll see. It's called Bravo's 100 Scariest Movie Moments, and it's a few hours long, so we'll just binge watch this.
There are moments created by master filmmakers which unleash your childhood fears.
Something can come in and bite you on the neck and turn you into this horrible vampire.
They infuse our nightmares.
The film was so strong that I was sort of worried that I caught some plague off the film.
And terrify us.
Almost every horror movie now has that last little
They push the boundaries.
It's those moments when you think this filmmaker is dangerous.
They make us scream.
For half the movie, I was like,
and jump out of our seats.
First time the shark jumped up, and I jumped. I didn't go out and around like, Daddy. It was just boom, boom.
These are the moments we never forget.
Even Pinhead, who doesn't do a decent, nice thing through 8 movies, but somehow or other still manages to get fan mail from women who would like to bear his children.
Presenting the 100 scariest movie moments. A countdown of the greatest moments of cinema shock.
"28
Days Later is one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. And I think one of the reasons it's so scary is that it seems possible.
Great movie. You're dealing with the end of the world. It's scary.
All the sets, you really felt like the way things would look after an apocalypse. The people he cast in the movie, they didn't look like glamorous, you know, perfectly chiseled plastic surgery Hollywood people. They look like real people.
When he walks out and there's like nothing outside but him and the empty streets, I mean, that is an amazing thing. And I'm still trying to figure out how they did that.
I have not yet
seen the viral attraction
28
was
Days
instantaneous.
franchise.
That if someone gets bit in 20 seconds, you have to kill them or they're going to kill you.
It's like the Body Snatchers almost in a way, you know, these infected, angry, half-dead people, and they speed up the film and the noise that went with that. So you had the boo factor there.
they've got the fury of like a rabid animal.
I'm a pretty fast runner, but you really felt like you couldn't outrun the zombies.
This is the first time anyone got the bright idea to make zombies ass-kickingly fast.
I'll start working on them then.
The fact that 28 Days Later was shot on DV, it definitely gave it a more kind of realistic feel to it, but I think it would have been equally as scary on film.
When you see 28 Days Later, you're inspired to want to go out and actually make low-budget horror movies because it looks like fun and it is fun.
George started to talk to me about the horror comics from the 50s, and I immediately kindled to what he was talking about.
I wanted to do a horror anthology. I wanted to do a movie that would be 3, 4, 5 stories, whatever it was, and I wanted them all to be different.
The 5th story, they're creeping up on you. E.G. Marshall stars as Upson Pratt, who's a rich, miserly, agoraphobic, who also has a pathological fear of germs. So, in typical EC Comics fashion, his apartment is overrun by cockroaches.
That was very much an EC comic books kind of thing, to use these various fears as metaphors for very real social problems. His fear of the bugs was a metaphor for his fear of the minorities in the city where this apartment building was.
We needed cockroaches. I mean, we needed hundreds of thousands of cockroaches. Got these entomologists, and they said, well, no, we can go get you some cockroaches. We just go to Trinidad and get some cockroaches, bring them back.
Like if
They
there's
would go into caves, and the roaches lived in batch dump. So, and all they had was like rubber bands around their pants legs and lights on their heads, They would dig a hole in the batch and, turn the lights off. And wait a minute or two, and the hole would just fill up with roaches.
They'd bring them on the set. They would dump out 5,000 cockroaches. Within 30 seconds, couldn't see one. They were in the phones. They were in the computers. They were walking around as if in water. It wasn't water. It was roaches.
Yuck. Ew, 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 ew. If you're squeamish, look away.
I mean, it was just hideous. It was hideous.
Oh,
when people see the bugs coming out of his mouth, they just go, oh, that's it.
And I never picked one of those roaches up. I couldn't do it. And I realized that I was phobic about it. And then I realized, well, my buddies are too. Tom and Steve, everybody was going.
I love Lucio Fulci's Zombie because, first of all, I love Italian-style horror movies. They don't hold back on any level. They have beautiful naked girls. They have full-on gore. The deaths, it's so unbelievably graphic.
Zombie was just basically a ripoff of Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead. But I do enjoy the film because it's extremely gory.
My favorite scene in Lucio Fulci's Zombie, which is one of the greatest scenes in horror film.
R.I.P. Gilbert Godfrey. You are missed. Also, apparently, you know, you heard it there, folks. He's a fan of gory horror movies.
History is a zombie fighting a shark, because I love Dawn of the Dead and I love Jaws, and here was a combination of the two. This zombie goes in the water and a shark takes a bite out of it, and then the zombie grabs the shark and takes the bite out of the shark. I mean, what's better than that? That's like a horror geek's wet dream.
When I saw Zombie, that was in the days of, we had just done Dawn of the Dead, you know? So to me it was like, well, what are they going to do? How are they going to top us, you know? That eyeball.
They take so long with it. You're like, okay, but you don't want to look, but you kind of have to because you're not sure exactly when this moment's going to happen, and you're not sure if they're actually going to show it and how far they're going to take it.
Oh, don't like eye stuff. Shouldn't you be fighting a little harder?
It wasn't just a stake going through an eye. Even Dawn of the Dead, you know, the guy who's zombie gets a screwdriver through his ear, you know, fine. That, it was slow.
Yeah.
You know, so you had all this time to be scared and waiting for it, and then it paid off. I mean, it actually goes in.
Ugh. No, thank you.
The Cat People was produced by Val Lewton, and it's another film that's famous for what you don't see is more horrifying than what you do see.
Irena believes that if she has sex with her husband, she will turn into a big cat and she will tear him apart.
If she becomes sexually excited, she will kill.
My favorite thing in Cat People, again, it's twisted, but the fact that the psychiatrist is trying to have sex with his patient, which is outrageous.
The husband's co-worker is walking through Central Park.
It's told through shadow. It's told through mystery.
She hears footsteps behind her.
Oh yeah,
which is a little alarming to her. But then she doesn't hear footsteps behind her, and that's even more alarming to her.
That is so creepy. And then car jump scare.
I don't know if Val Lewton and Jack Turner invented this type of scare, but if you look at any horror film made afterwards, everybody does it.
Alfred Hitchcock, the goat. Oh, the birds, yeah.
What on earth?
They're coming!
If you have one crow flying at you, it's manageable. If you have like 100 crows flying at you, that's terrifying.
Swarms of anything, whether they're locusts, grasshoppers, bees, birds, things swarming is very scary.
The birds are pecking. And you're not done. I mean, it'd be better to just die instantly.
Actually, this had happened up in Northern California, and I think that's where they realized that they could make a movie.
In pure Hitchcock fashion, there's no exposition in the film. Why did the birds act this way? We don't ever know.
Yeah,
But
they
he
never
shows it to
explain it.
us.
It's just a mystery.
Suddenly the camera moves way up and we're shooting straight down and we're looking at what we know is a bird's eye view.
It was, I think, the most technically difficult movie because he had to have real birds, fake birds, mechanical birds. It was the most fun to go on that set.
To this day, I can't see the trickery of what mechanical birds Hitchcock used and which real ones he used.
They tried with mechanical birds.
Speaking of Tony Todd, they need to put Candyman in Dead by Daylight. Please.
And it didn't work. So that's why they had to use the real birds, and they throw all these birds at poor Tippy.
The noises they make, too, is just audio overload, man. Oh, Jesus.
Coming up, a doll from hell arrives via Madison Avenue. We're counting down to the scariest movie moment of all time.
I and my studio did not design scary dinosaurs. We designed real dinosaurs.
I believed those dinosaurs were real. You know, I know they're not, and yet somehow that movie put it in my mind that humans can coexist with dinosaurs.
We built a Tyrannosaurus Rex that was 40 feet long from the tip of his nose to the tip of his tail, that weighed 18,000 pounds, 9 tons, had something like 350 horsepower, was extremely powerful, and it could act.
They're dinosaurs. We're not supposed to know what they look like, but we do.
I love that the raptors end up being the scariest part because they're sort of slimy. You know, they work in groups and they have calls to one another. It's so much creepier when something's intelligent and evil.
They are like the dino dynamic duo.
They were the meat eaters. They were without conscience. These were the sharks of Jurassic Park. These were not, well, maybe we can talk to him. These guys are going to kill you.
Is that the best quality we got? Oh no! Hey, there we go. I mean, it still looks like this than it
Pacific Heights is every yuppie's dream. Hey, let's me and my girlfriend go and buy a little fixer-upper. This one's in San Francisco. We'll fix it up into a nice house. We'll live in it and we'll rent out a couple rooms to people, make some money. It'll be great.
But there's this tenant, you know, on the first floor, and he gets weirder by the moment.
He moves in.
Oh yeah, Michael Keaton was in that.
Puts bolts and locks on the door and goes to work.
Michael Keaton is almost like a cancer, destroying their whole lives. And the worst part is that everything that he does makes it seem like it's their fault.
And he goes crazy in a way that he's using the law to his benefit until finally it gets to a point that they're literally trying to kill him.
There's nothing you can do. They try, they call the police, there's nothing, they get a lawyer, there's nothing they can do. He's always one step ahead of them.
What kind of a person would let roaches go in their own apartment?
Insane. Melanie Griffith has the best, female revenge. She goes into his life and does some great private investigating, by the way, on her own, and really messes with him. But, unfortunately, Carter Hayes comes back into the picture.
You crossed the line. You're in my room. You're in my private thing.
Oh, jeez. He could be so scary if he wants to.
Boyfriend. You insult my intelligence. You got in my area. What are you doing?
Now, come on. Why do you try to reach for that when he was there?
I was scared to death of my sister's dolls as a little kid. The Talking Tina was a show that had a very profound impact on me. It really messed me up. And my sister had all of her dolls in her bedroom with her nightlight underneath it, and it was like a flashlight underneath these faces. And I just said, see if there are any good stories that we could do on dolls.
My father had worked in marketing and advertising, and so as a kid I was exposed to all kinds of marketing campaigns, and that fascinated me, and I wanted to write something about how advertising affected children.
Don was very influenced by the fact that Madison Avenue was programming these dolls to be your best friend.
So the whole killer doll device, you know, which of course had been used before, but I realized that it had never been done in such a way that you could treat the doll as a full-fledged character.
Chucky, child's play. What child in their right mind would want to play with a doll that looks like Chucky?
My son, when he was a little boy, saw the poster for Child's Play, and that gave him nightmares.
Brad Dourif does the voice of Chucky, and Brad's great. He's this amazing Oscar-nominated actor. He does the voice like Jack Nicholson. Chucky, I'm gonna kill you.
The animatronics were amazing in that. You just see him scurrying like a rat. That doll, that could scare the hell out of anybody. There's a presumed innocence with small things, and then when they turn on you, you know, even though he was all but how many inches tall, he was the scariest, meanest, most vicious, violent head doll.
I said talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
You stupid bitch! You filthy slut! To jump with me!
Before he was more of a loner, and I think he's mellowed now, having a wife and a kid, but he's still very creative in his methods of killing people.
Village of the Damned is a real cool film. It came out in 1960, black and white, British. You see it now and you realize there's some really hysterically funny things about it. George Sanders is maybe the worst father anybody has ever seen in your life, the most unfeeling father. And the Barbara Shelley as the mother has nothing to do with the children. It's kind of hilarious.
We see echoes of Village of the Damned in a lot of later pictures, everything from Rosemary's Baby to The Omen, but Village of the Damned was there first.
It's a great idea to think of kids turning into adults and making them do things.
There's something about scary kids
I
that
have not seen Village
is unsettling because it's like you create them and then they kill you.
George Saunders is trying to create a mental block. The children can read his mind, and he's just imagining a brick wall. We don't know if they're really gone because you see their glowing eyes in the rubble and the wreckage.
Shallow Grave was really well done, also because the setup is so effective.
Three fairly ordinary and fairly unlikable people take on a new flatmate who promptly drops dead, leaving them with a suitcase full of money. And they then have a choice. What do? Do they hand the money into the police, or do they get rid of the corpse and keep the money?
Cabin Fever took a little from that, in that you think you know who your friends are, but you really don't.
When he's forced to cut that body open and like saw through bone.
Finished. But not quite. Is that going to be deep enough? Don't worry about that.
Is this necessary?
Yes. Now come on, all or nothing.
And it's a marvelous scene because what Danny Boyle does is he absolutely encapsulates the horror of selling your soul to the devil.
Night of the Hunter, I have
Night of
seen
the
that
Hunter is a great film, directed by Charles Lawton. I think the only thing he's ever directed. And just from a stylistic standpoint, it's brilliant.
The fact that there are children involved, and there are children at risk and being threatened, is part of what gives the film its juice.
It's like a tale told around a campfire to kids, a cautionary tale.
That movie mainly works because Robert Mitchum is such a good psychopath.
They made him the embodiment of evil just in how they dressed him and how he moved. If you watch Robert Mitchum, I mean, he is ramrod straight.
With a flick knife in his pocket, which is constantly emerging through his jacket whenever he sees a loose woman who he wants to kill off. And he does, of course, eventually kill off Shelley Winters, although because she won't tell him where the loot from the robbery is. And he then goes after the children.
It's not my doll! It's not my doll!
The doll!
Why, sure. Last place anybody think to look.
That little boy was smart.
It's the first true bogeyman of the cinema. He actually is seen leaping up the stairs in a wholly inhuman fashion.
Coming up, Wicked Witches and Monkey Madness.
Yes, my favorite movie.
Down to the scariest movie moment of all time.
Even in the credits, from the opening shot, it sets the mood for the entire film. And Brooke Shields, that was her first film.
It has this weird kind of dreamlike, otherworldly quality, almost like an Argento film. You just feel it, the locations don't look familiar. It looks strange. The music's a little bit different.
What Alfred was trying to do was make a Don't Look Now or an Argento film in America. He had the images of the girl with the raincoat, and there was all those scenes of running.
There are certain people in Alice, Sweet Alice that you don't expect to die, and they kill them off. And whenever that happens, you don't feel safe.
Think, a young girl in a Catholic uniform, jealous of her beautiful sister.
And of course, kids getting killed. Again, subject matter that you can't really have in a horror film.
A mask. That's so frightening because the mask is almost realistic looking, but the mask has like blue eyeshadow and like red lips. It's almost like a drag queen mask.
One of the scariest sequences from Alice, Sweet Alice, is when Brooke Shields goes looking for Alice. And Alice is just in this weird, strange warehouse, and she has a mask on, and you don't really know what's going on.
If you think about it, it's goofy. Pods turn into people.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
how do they
The pod
do
people!
that?
There's this underlying universal fear of, creeping zombieism throughout society, or totalitarianism, or whatever ism is getting out of control. That's the body snatchers.
Everybody's afraid the communists taking us over. We're all, and those were the pods. We're all going to become the pod people.
What you're really buying into is the horror of losing your identity.
Where do they come from? I don't know.
And all you have to do is go to sleep.
The scariest moment in that film, though, is when they set up the convention that you can't sleep, that the pods will take you over while you sleep. And he and the girl are in that cave, and there's the moment when he kisses her and he realizes she isn't her anymore. Brilliantly scary. You're next.
Black Christmas, the original Black
Christmas is a joyous time for most people, despite the suicide rate. And I thought, what a great contrast. Let's take the most joyful time and insert into it terror.
Black Christmas became like a cult classic.
I remember meeting Steve Martin for this picture, Roxanne, a long time ago, and he said, you were in one of my favorite films of all time. And I said, oh, Romeo and Juliet? And he said, no, Black Christmas. I loved it. Saw it 27 times.
It's totally an underrated film. I remember the first time I saw it, like, I must have seen it before Halloween, and I remember it freaked me out.
A sorority house filled of young women are staying there over Christmas break, and a maniac is loose and kills them one by one.
Some of the Friday the 13th gave you the point of view. You became Jason killing the teenagers. Black Christmas was like that. It was like, because you never saw the guy and only heard his laugh, you saw his point of view, you were the creepy guy living in the attic.
The one death by saran wrap, plastic wrap, is something in itself, but that body is propped up in a window at the sorority house and sits there throughout the entire film and remains undiscovered.
Then later, when she's there and you can see the plastic is in the mouth, it's again a very ungraphic way of signaling to the audience how horrible it must have been.
You never find out who the killer is or why he's killing people. And I think that a lot of people are unsatisfied by that ending, but actually I think it's brilliant.
If this movie doesn't make your skin crawl, it's on too tight.
Between Margaret Hamilton as the witch and those flying monkeys, this is the movie that has caused more nightmares than any other film ever made.
That green witch. This is how much longer you have to be
alive. You have left to be alive.
And turned it around, and I'm just like, what's gonna happen after that sand runs out? Is she gonna come in and slaughter her?
Margaret Hamilton was seriously burned in the sequence where she disappears in Munchkin Land, and they had opened a trap door for her to go down, and they're pumping smoke up, and we're supposed to shoot a flamethrower through there, and they got their timing mixed up, and she was out of commission for 6 months. And when she came back to the production, the first thing they wanted her to do was ride the broomstick that was smoking, spelling out "Surrender, Dorothy," and she refused, and so they got her double to do it, and the entire room exploded.
You've got this wonderland, this happy world that something is trying to destroy, and so it's sort of a loss of innocence. The monkeys represent being taken away from this innocent playland.
Monkeys are filthy little animals to begin with, and if they can get airborne, that's double, if not triple trouble.
There's monkey hands and their expressionless faces, and you know, they're this army of droids, but they're furry and pretty aggressive, and they had those terrible little vests.
For the flying monkey sequences, they kept seeing the wires, and so they wanted thinner wires, and sometimes these poor monkeys would be flying in and the wires would just snap.
The scarecrow scene where the monkeys come down and rip the scarecrow apart was one of the first dismemberments ever shot on film.
A house of high fashion, a dazzling.
You've got this fashion salon with these beautiful girls. You're looking at these gorgeous women in designer fashions of the day, and you can't tear your eyes away, even when they're being murdered.
Knocks your eyes out. I mean, when we were in film school, everybody would get stoned and watch the Technicolor blood and black lights, and it was like it was in 3D.
Who is this shrouded, sadistic, sordid fiend who maims and murders?
He found a way to photograph the most graphically horrible images and embed them in such beauty that the sheer perversity of it is one of the reasons that it works.
The first victim, a young woman in a red leather coat, walking through a park alone at night. Because of the use of colour, he can isolate her out there, and he can make the darkness that much darker, you know, this sense of surrounding blackness.
Guess what's coming up next? We're counting down to the scariest movie moment of all time.
What you're gonna show me?
Psychological terror to me is much more frightening than, you know, something in the closet.
A little bit of insanity,
completely out of
mental disturbance, a little bit of sadism,
some nitrous oxide,
a little nitrous oxide, and you're in business.
David Lynch is just the master of like showing how happy-go-lucky towns are really, really screwed up underneath.
Kyle MacLachlan is kind of living in this squeaky clean, Cleaver-esque Americana world. Except one morning, he finds an ear. in his yard.
It gets very frightening when things get out of control. Things are not what you bargained for.
Oh, the character of Dennis Hopper terrified me. Just the thought of, you know, the life of your child depends on you pleasing this maniac.
He takes a power pull off of this, whatever it is, super juice, and he goes ballistic every time, whether it's making love or beating people down.
Dennis Hopper sucking on the ether, that's scary.
He's in the closet and he's watching Dennis Hopper and just, it's so scary. It's so psychotic.
What are you huffing?
Mommy.
What? Huh?
Oh, Mommy.
Dennis Hopper and
Oh,
the magic go-go juice. I want to get some of that.
First time I saw it, I wasn't as and this is strange because I wasn't as affected by it as, say, the 5th or 6th or 7th time I saw it.
It was a smart horror film. It wasn't just a slasher pick or a monster or a ghost story per se. It was a thoughtful horror film.
You've got the haunted house story, very much like The Haunting, where you have a place where the natural and supernatural worlds overlap. You've got a rational main character.
What was actually terrifying about it was, you know, the way that Nicole Kidman sort of limited the children. They always use English kids to be creepy, like in Village of the Damned or The Omen or something like, hello.
You never knew why she needed all the curtains closed and all the doors locked and who those people were that were outside.
And the most horrifying moment is when they find the tintypes of the dead.
Picture these portraits of dead people. And creepy, that's the creeps.
What makes that really creepy is that they really used to do that.
The little girl is, we're approaching her back.
What's the matter? Where is my daughter? What have you done with my daughter? Are you mad? I am your daughter.
It finally comes to a head and you realize it just is mind-blowing because you're not expecting it to be what it is.
This is real. I mean, those things are out there.
We got to see a little bit of Arnold Schwarzenegger totally nude at the very beginning.
Thank God
you
for
know,
that.
not in a weird way, but I thought that was pretty cool.
Anytime I get to see a governor naked, I'm all over it.
Absolutely.
It's very representative also, I think, of the time in our country where a lot of technology was taking over. It works on a lot deeper level than just Schwarzenegger.
Terminator has come back in time to kill the mother who will eventually give birth to the boy that will take down all the robots in the future.
And save all of us.
Yeah.
This movie felt very realistic. And I think this is something James Cameron does very well.
Jim is one of those directors that every dollar goes up on the screen, and what he was doing with Terminator was, in a lot of ways, way ahead of its time. It was a $5 million movie, but looked like 20.
Make it come alive with puppetry and animatronics, and what we can't do with puppetry and animatronics, do with animation.
It doesn't become cartoonish. You know, his movies, to me, are very realistic, and that's part of what's so kind of frightening about them. This piece of metal is the Energizer Bunny of evil.
He feels no pain, no
Energizer Bunny
remorse.
of evil.
He has one thing to do, and that is to kill and destroy. He can't be stopped. He can't be reasoned with.
It's like a student loan officer. They just don't give up.
When, at the end of the movie, we believe that we've destroyed the Terminator, and we think it's over, and suddenly this chrome-skulled robot from the future.
husband and I go away to this retreat to work on some problems that we've been having, and we don't know that it's a colony in actuality of werewolves.
The werewolf in Howling is the bad guy. Not just the bad guy, he's absolute scum.
Two theaters, one above the other. So you could sit in one audience and see this reaction, and you could run upstairs and see exactly the same reaction. And it was the scene where Belinda Blasky is looking in the file cabinet.
She's hunting through these file cabinets trying to find proof that she's not at a sleepaway camp for crazy people, but she's at Werewolf Central.
Quist Marcia. Quist TC. Oh, Christopher. Is it?
Oh, shit!
This isn't a begging for sympathy monster. Yeah, this is a, in 2 minutes, I'm going to rip your throat out monster.
First, Stephen actually called me to talk about a film, kind of Close Encounters of the Dark kind.
That this wasn't an old Gothic manor. This was my house. This was your house. This was the house we all grew up in as kids. This was suburbia.
It's a family, and they're moving into a new house.
Don't buy a house that's been built on an Indian burial ground. You know, there is no feng shui in the world that's gonna fix that.
The poltergeists come out of the television.
They're here. I was terrified of my TV. That last bit in Poltergeist when they shoved the TV out of the hotel room, I was just like, yes! Kill the TV!
If you want to look for the malevolent spirits in your household, they come from your television. You're watching it.
In Poltergeist, it was some of the subtle stuff that happened. Like Jo Beth Williams, you know, going in the kitchen and she arranged something. Camera followed her into her daughter, I guess, for breakfast, and she turns and all the chairs are stacked up.
Just weird, sort of like, wait, I thought I left that door open. That is so much more frightening than when all of a sudden industrial lights and magic come in and you see the monster.
You're not afraid of little dolls, but you're afraid of little clowns.
I'm not afraid that they're going to kill me. I want to know where they are at all times.
Clowns they're just scary to me. The imagery of it, the makeup, perhaps it's that ever-present smile and happiness that's painted on.
Here's this innocent, adorable little thing that's there to make you have fun and be happy, and the dances and performs, and all of a sudden it just turns on you.
Screw that clown doll, dude.
I remember after watching Poltergeist, I did this ritual where I would have to run and jump into bed because it was always a fear of a clown hand coming out and trying to grab your ankle as you're climbing into bed.
Get your kids, get your shit, get the f*** out the house. That's all I gotta say.
As a kid, I used to have to take the garbage out, you know, at home, and it was in the back alley in the dark. And I remember going out there with the garbage and actually talking to Dracula. I would say, you know, Dracula, I know you're out here. I just want to let you know that I know you're here. So don't try anything, because I'm going to just put this garbage in the garbage can, and then I'm going back in the house.
Such wacko stuff in that. I mean, why are there armadillos in Transylvania, you know? And some of the key scenes happen off stage.
Dracula's a movie that's full of people looking out windows saying, oh my God, there's a wolf running across the lawn.
Oh my God, it's like a huge dog is running across.
You see so little in Dracula, it's quite extraordinary. And it's because its roots were in the theater.
Dracula began its life as a novel by Bram Stoker. It was then adapted as a play and came to Broadway and enjoyed great success on Broadway with the Hungarian actor Bela Lugosi.
It was a Broadway play, and they changed it for the movies, and it actually improved it. It made it scarier and creepier than it was on Broadway.
Lugosi appears, and he's in half shadow at first, and he comes down and he says,
I am Dracula. Listen to them. Children of the night,
Listen to them, the children.
What music
What
they
music they make.
That staircase with the spider web, the way he walks and suddenly he's on the other side of the spider web. There's very subtle stuff there.
What scares you about Dracula as a kid is the idea that you're sleeping. You're sound asleep in your bed, and something can come in and bite you on the neck and turn you into this horrible vampire for the rest of your life, and you're now a person that has to suck blood the rest of it. That's a scary notion.
Coming up, evil comes alive in bloody claymation. We're counting down to the scariest movie moment of all time.
Sexy, not scary. But, you know.
The Brood is such a great horror film that it's hard to choose just moments of it because everything kind of builds like a snowball of horror.
Cronenberg is a master of organic horror. He taps into a very common human fear, which is the fear of decay of the flesh.
It's basically telling you anything goes, that no environment is safe.
You don't have to look for the enemy outside, not even inside your own house. The enemy is inside you.
She has children that are really physical manifestations of the rage that she feels. Much of it directed towards her former husband.
A moment that should be a hauntingly animal moment with Samantha Eggar licking the fetus.
You think she's gonna kiss it?
Ew.
But no. She cleans it.
It's also a moment of very deep horror.
What the fuck, dude? Oh god, I can't watch that. That's sick. That's nasty.
But it's because Cronenberg understands we're not at peace with our bodies.
Science is about a family on a farm who have crop circles.
Hey, it's a Culkin.
And they don't know what it is. And it's aliens.
What would happen if those signs were directions for alien ships to come and land?
And the first time we see that alien isn't in a master, it isn't on 35mm and pretty with nice lighting. It's in a house in Mexico City on a handheld.
Joaquin Phoenix is sitting in the closet watching the TV reports.
It's a birthday party, so it's a bunch of kids in a language that, you know, most of us don't speak.
The kids are in the way, and the best moment is Joaquin Phoenix looking into the TV going, "Vamonos, children, vamonos!"
And you literally, as an audience member, are going like this, trying to stay steady with the camera.
That scene was scary. I will admit, because, like, the rest of that movie... Now, I will tell you something about it. You know, another way of looking at this movie in a minute. But just looking at it as it's presented as an alien movie, it's a really dumb movie. But I will admit this scene was freaking terrifying. It was like nightmare fuel.
Move, children! Vámonos!
Now, as a kid, that did give me
pushes
nightmares.
back against the closet and with his hand over his mouth because he just can't believe what he just saw.
I remember like the hair going up in my arms, but you didn't see it for like, it was like a half a second.
I think the entire audience did the same thing that I did, which was this.
Now, like I said, as just an alien movie, that's a really dumb movie. Save for that part. That part was done well. But somebody said, think of it as a religious allegory. Think about all the aspects of that movie and all the, you know, just the story. Just think about it as a religious allegory. And it makes a ton more sense. You know, the aliens are more like demons, and that's why water harms them. Because, you know, everybody's like, is there, you know, if water hurts them, why would they come to a planet that's mostly comprised of water? Well, that's one explanation for that if you think of them as demons. And something about the little girl is some kind of, like... She's some kind of, I don't know what you'd want to call it. Some kind of figure. I don't know, sort of a chosen one or something. I don't know if you want to call it that. And, like... Yeah, anyways, just like I said, if you look at it as more of a religious allegory, it actually makes a lot more sense.
I was coming out of the theater and two kids come up to me with suits on and little briefcases. Oh, Tom Savini, we're shooting this movie. I wonder if you'd mind coming up to the editing room. And I went with them, and I'm watching this clay meltdown of some hideous cadaver corpse. Wow, that's great. What's that? Oh, it's a movie we're doing, blah, blah. Evil Dead.
It made me think, God, I could do that. Because I was old enough, I had a 16mm camera, and then here comes a horror movie that somebody else similar age to me made in 16mm.
Evil Dead is the ultimate cabin in the woods movie, and it's so cheaply made and so wonderful.
It was the first for Sam Raimi. He and Bruce Campbell were old buddies.
We wanted to do something that could never really happen. There's plenty of guys with knives running around killing people, but people aren't possessed that often.
When do you see a woman being raped by trees?
Camera, the camera on a piece of 2x4 going over cars. You never see camera angles like that. It's very bold and ballsy and scary.
That first shot of Evil Dead, of that camera moving through the woods, really terrified me.
Sam, being a former magician, used a lot of camera tricks that cost about $1.98.
All the great gags, which was just imaginative and funny, scary, and gory.
Once the horror started, it never stopped.
The first time he has to go down into the cellar, I'd never seen anything like it.
Oh yeah, doesn't it explode on him? Ah, nasty!
There are moments created by master filmmakers which unleash your childhood fears.
Something can come in and bite you on the neck and turn you into this horrible vampire.
They infuse our nightmares.
The film was so strong that I was a little worried that I caught some plague off the film.
And terrify us.
Almost every horror movie now has that last little
They push the boundaries.
Those moments when you think this filmmaker is dangerous.
They make us scream.
For half the movie, I was like...
and jump out of our seats.
First time the shark jumped up, and I jumped. I didn't go out and around like, Daddy. It was just boom, boom.
These are the moments we never forget.
Even Pinhead, who doesn't do a decent, nice thing through 8 movies, but somehow or other still manages to get fan mail from women who
horror
they saw would like to bear his children.
Presenting the 100 scariest movie moments, a countdown of the greatest moments of cinema shot.
I won't say it more than once.
Oh man, I was grabbing in my pants.
It hit like the child in me, who gets scared, the boogeyman.
Saw it in an inner city setting, and I remember going, "Don't say it, brother, don't say it."
Candyman is a movie that contains some of the most beautiful images in horror film. I think Bernard Rose understands the poetics that have to be involved in horror.
They saw him as a tragic, romantic figure.
His voice was so deep that it just scared the shit out of you.
When they do it well, it just feels like the voice is right next to you. It's like inside your head.
The fact that Bernard was from the start going to be hypnotizing the leading lady Virginia at key moments in the script whenever she was in the presence of Candyman. The nature of hypnosis and what that does, being open to suggestion, he got into this ritual where he felt he was hypnotizing her before every take.
The moments in the movie and images in the movie that are almost totemic. The woman entering the mouth of the painting, the bees on the chest, they have such power.
felt like it took 5 hours just for them to prep and put the bees in my mouth.
Once the bees start buzzing around and coming out of his mouth, I can't watch the rest of the movie.
And the swarms and swarms of bees come flying out. And I don't know what's scarier, the bees or the hook.
Come with me and be immortal.
My dentist's assistant, when her kids don't go to bed on time, she goes to the mirror in the hallway and starts to say Candyman into the mirror. And she never has to reach 5 times because they've already gone to bed.
The thing about Willy Wonka is that it's written by Roald Dahl, who wrote some of the scariest stories ever.
Roald Dahl was a very dark writer, very much closer to the original Grimm's fairy tales.
There was a creepy tone, and I think a lot of that had to do, for myself personally, was the casting of Gene Wilder in that role.
And if you win the golden ticket, you're gonna go to his mansion for the day. And this was a big deal because to go to Willy Wonka's was like every child's dream.
Having your own chocolate factory, it's everything you want as a kid. But it also punishes the kids for doing things that kids do.
Willie invites all the children who've won the contest into the riverboat to go down the Chocolate River through the tunnel as we go to another place.
Sure, get in the boat.
And all of a sudden, you're in a psychedelic, bad acid trip.
The Oompa Loompas are perhaps the most terrifying little people in any movie.
And that music starts, and you start singing that, there's no way we're going.
And we show no signs of flowing!
Is the Grizzly Reaper going?
The kids are freaking out, and there's all these weird, like, you know, student film style shots.
You're in the hands of this madman.
That movie took a hard left turn.
A hard left turn.
You're going to Candyland, and all of a sudden it's like,
You never know if somebody's dead. Every character in that movie is like Rasputin.
I love watching the Coen brothers from a style standpoint, you know, and they just love to play with genres.
Blood Simple is the Coen brothers' first one, and it's about a guy who hires a private detective to kill his wife's lover, but he doesn't do quite a good enough job. So the guy's not really dead.
Total reversal of the morality that film started out with.
You can't tell who's completely evil and who's not.
The Coens are not afraid to go over the line from mystery thriller noir and into good old horror show.
At the end, you have two characters who you didn't expect to be in the ultimate showdown. Frances McDormand, she's the only one you're left with, and she's being stalked by the classic outsider.
Emmett Walsh plays as just the most disgusting, you know, just the most morally corrupt, ruthless guy.
He put me off to sweaty, southern, overweight men for life.
He's beyond all the morality of this community. He can do anything. So eventually you have to do the unthinkable to him.
Theater going like this to some guy, like, this kid can't watch the movie, it's too scary.
I saw them on television, and it's an old movie, but it was so real. and every time I see an ant now, I get very scared. I won't even go on a picnic.
Beyond my backyard was a sort of a development that had been raised, and so it sort of looked like the desert, and had jutting pieces of concrete out of it, and it was very easy to imagine giant ants coming out of those holes and, you know, into my backyard.
The age of the atom, you know, I don't know, I guess everybody thought that we were gonna have giant bugs everywhere.
Every kid who's been out in the front yard with a magnifying glass, this is your comeuppance, man.
We need a giant magnifying glass, radioactive size.
The scene where the giant ant comes out of the hole and has a rib cage in his mandibles. I think they pan down and there's like a skull and a gun or something, and you go, well, that's the same guy. That's the guy. Look, there's nothing left of him.
Every classic horror film has a creepy
Empire
kid.
of the Ants is
You always
another
have to have a
good,
little kid sitting there whispering.
There's a little boy. He sees dead people. Bruce Willis is helping him.
M. Night Shyamalan, instead of you're watching, waiting for something to jump out, he tells you what you're going to see and then builds the suspense from that. The kid goes, I see dead people. I see dead people. And knowing that he sees dead people, knowing you're going to see one, it's still terrifying.
He wasn't a victim like the little boy from The Shining. He wasn't an evil little boy like Damien in The Omen. He was a little boy who knew too much.
As a ghost story, he also didn't take the typical approach of ghosts are scary, ghosts are here to hurt you, and they're going to chase you and kill you.
You understood why the ghosts are there and what they're doing and why they're haunting people.
The terrifying thing was when the little girl who's been murdered suddenly comes into the tent that the little boy has made.
The little girl under the bed? Are you kidding?
That sequence with the tent, with the little girl, my heart was pounding. It was so unbelievably scary. Does so well is it milks the scare from both the real world and the supernatural world.
What we finally make of our
The
lives is up to us. But the family in which we live, that happened to us. And horror films are about what happens to you.
You've been very, very bad to Daddy.
We see this decimated family and this man cleaning himself up and leaving to go on and join another family.
That was a good movie.
And it's that first scene that lifts him beyond just being a mad character.
He starts to court the single mom and take her out. Before you know it, he's just married into the family and then kills him.
He goes downstairs to the basement and he has this real meltdown.
You're a good boy. He's a good boy. Isn't he a good boy? Your daddy's little angel. Why don't they just leave me alone? Let me out. Let me out. We are going to keep this family together. You had better believe it.
Hey, buddy. What's going on?
Hi.
You good?
He literally turns on a dime and pulls it together, and it's so chilling.
Coming up, which sex scene was ahead of its time? We're counting down to the scariest movie moment of all time.
Any girl watching Reanimator will get scared with that head giving head.
I love the gore in Reanimator. I just thought it was what Stuart Gordon did was a great exercise.
I think we're going to skip that one.
Every film should show you something you've never seen before. And I think we did.
That is why I will never watch that movie.
The old Universal Pictures, I mean, you have movies like The Black Cat, you know, which are so sick. I mean, you know, that picture's deep.
Goth Mermaid Gamer is now live.
Cutting off.
It's streaming no game.
You see it in the shadow.
Spooky
It looks
Sunday.
like he's cutting off Karloff's face. It's more now when I watch it that I think, like, wow.
It kind of just plays in the most painful thing, the most painful way to go. You know, have your skin ripped off.
Do you know what I'm going to do to you now? No? Did you ever see an animal skin, Hjalmar? That's what I'm going to do to you now. Tear the skin from your body. Slowly. Bit by bit. How does it feel to hang on your own embalming rack, Hjalmar?
Everything about that movie's sick, and you know, that's a movie about necrophilia.
Having sex with dead people, that's gross.
When I take road trips, and you see that guy coming up on you, and you're going about 85, which means he's got to be going about 95, and he's creeping up, and the headlights are right there, and he pulls up a little close, and you're just like, it's back to Duel, dude. You were right there.
Duel! Finally got to see it on Spenguli.
Basically. Of an evil diesel truck where you never really see the driver.
How much simpler can a movie get as far as a story goes? But I also think that's the magic of the movie.
How do you pitch that movie? How do you say it's just going to be a guy chasing a guy with a semi-truck for 2 hours? Who makes it? I guess Steven Spielberg does.
It was also Spielberg's first horror movie. Get a taste.
When I worked with Steven on Close Encounters, we were standing by the road at Devil's Tower, and I said, Steven, what gave you the idea to put that big railroad track on the front bumper of that truck? And he said, you noticed that. He created real tension using very subtle imagery.
He drives 100 miles an hour for like 10 minutes thinking he's left this guy in the dust. Right. Yeah. No, the guy catches up with him. Wow. He thinks he can lose him in the mountains. No. And as all this is going on, he pulls into a town, he does all kinds of things, but the guy won't let him go.
It just keeps coming, and you don't know what you did, you don't know how to stop it, and there'll never be an end to it until your death.
Just the angles on that truck, the fact that you can never see the face of evil, which is the most terrifying thing, I think, is it leaves it to your own imagination.
That's the sadistic part of the movie, is just how far is that trucker gonna go?
Sound. That's the thing. I think the most successful horror films use all of our senses against us. They heighten everything to the point where you're so on edge that a sound like this can send you across the room and you can taste the fear.
Whoever killed him will probably want to speak to you. I don't know anything.
Dustin Hoffman sees his brother killed, and he gets drawn into something that's just way above his head.
I'd like to use you as possible bait.
The wealthiest and most wanted Nazi left alive.
I'm positive your brother meant to rob me when I leave the bank with my diamonds.
You must fear creepy Nazi dentists.
We give such power to dentists and doctors and priests and all these people. And if you pervert it like that in a story...
Is it safe? Is it safe?
He's being questioned.
Oh,
is it
no,
safe?
that's
And he's like, is what safe? Is it safe? And he's coming closer, and it's like torture time.
And it's shot with that level of intimacy.
So, I'll just drill into a healthy tooth until I reach the pulp. Unless, of course, you can tell me that it's safe.
It's palpable. You can feel it.
Paris. On a quiet...
What was it? Oh, I think it was Clerks, like the animated Clerks, where they pulled the "Is it safe?" Randall's like messing with a random guy that comes in a store. Is it safe? Hello? Yeah, I'm just trying to get some gas. Where's everybody? Is it safe? What the hell are you talking about? Can I get some service? Hello? Is it safe? What do you mean? Is what safe? And he just keeps doing it until the guy has just freaks out.
Quiet street. In an old building, a dead woman's vacant apartment is waiting for the tenant.
To me, it was so disturbing because it messed with my head.
That movie just is so disorienting.
Why does my hand keep coming up? Stop
Roman
that.
Polanski has a tendency to kind of add in that element of the supernatural into something that is just so realistic.
We overhear things, bits and pieces of conversation when we pass by or through the walls or in an elevator, walking out the front door. We don't know the secret, personal, hidden lives of the people that we call our neighbors.
The stuff with the tooth is very disturbing.
He finds a tooth in a wall. And,
maybe it'll stop doing it.
You know, his expression as he's sort of pulling it out and looking at it is the same as mine, of like, what the hell is this?
Who put it there? whose tooth it is, what it's for, what it means in the narrative, what the hell's going on.
I didn't know if I was going crazy or the lead character was going crazy. He kept thinking that things were happening, but then it didn't seem like they were happening, but then they were, but then they weren't. So I found it very disturbing. It gave me the willies for a couple of weeks.
Lieutenant. Bill Paxton called me up and said, Lance, I know about this script. It's a great script. And I said, well, what is it, Bill? He said, it's a vampire western. And I said, oh, come on, Bill, for God's sake. It sounded like the worst movie I ever heard of. And then I got the script and read it, and I couldn't believe it.
It's kind of a cross-genre film. It mixes together elements from horror, westerns, the road movie.
I thought of ourselves as nocturnal nomads.
Lance Henriksen in Near Dark was the leader of this vampire group who ride around in this van that windows are all blacked out.
And when they attack people, it's a wicked, full-blown, raw attack.
The movie's also celebrating their immortality in a way.
We felt like we never attacked anybody that didn't have it coming. Like lowlives and people that were trying to carjack us, or, you know, we kind of laid the bait out, and anybody that took it paid.
The scariest scene was Bill
Goth
Paxton's
Mermaid
in this
Gamer
bar,
is now live.
and
Streaming
there's all
No
these
Game,
bikers and stuff, and the whole
Spooky
crew's
Sunday.
in there, and then they start messing with them, whatever, and Bill Paxton just starts ripping these guys apart.
I got a new name for you. Mr. Big Knuckle. You having a little trouble with your hog leg there?
He had this makeup where his head was busted open, and it was wide open. He was covered with blood. And every night at the same time, his train would pull into town and stop right in the intersection. So this guy come walking out of the train, out of the diesel thing, and Billy walked up to him and said, hey man, there's been an accident. He just says, if you think I'm bad, wait till you see the other guy.
Oh my God.
Which moment scared the pants onto men? We're counting down to the scariest movie moment of all time.
Oh, that's all you have to say. Just that noise.
Whee! You have these city boys just out for a
Oh,
road
no.
trip.
Where are you going, city boy? We'll find it.
Going, city boy.
It ain't nothing but the biggest river in the state.
They want to raft a river before it gets flooded for development or something. They're, going to this virgin landscape.
Nothing very unusual about them. Suburban guys like you or your neighbor.
It seemed like this innocent trip that we would all take on the weekend. We're gonna go canoeing up in the backcountry.
They don't care about anybody there. They don't care about the place at all, really. And so that, that comes back to bite them in the ass, literally.
What was their first mistake?
You do not mock the locals.
This is a town that has 5 teeth. None of them are in the same head.
Not only locals, but retarded, incestual,
inbred, deformed
locals.
These are the men who decided not to play golf that weekend.
The wilderness is the great equalizer, okay?
That scene which comes out of freaking nowhere. And it's one of those great scenes where the action escalates so quickly.
Why was he wearing tighty whities?
That was the brief of choice back in 1970, whatever.
Big mistake.
To see a grown man tell another grown man to drop those panties and get down on all fours, squeal like a pig, it's like you start shaking for the guy.
Don't. No, boy. I bet you can squeal. I bet you can squeal like a pig. Oh, which squeal? Squeal now. Squeal. Squeal. Squeal louder. 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 Get down there, boy.
And that's not lovemaking, okay? That is rape.
Yeah.
Oh, I just was...
Oh, wow, guys. Okay.
It was very frightening.
After that movie, camping equipment sales just took a nosedive. All the tent manufacturers.
Coleman almost went out of business.
Yeah, canoe companies, they were like, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks, Deliverance.
Oh. Wolfman!
The thing about the Wolfman is that he's a very sad character, you know, and I think that's something that Lon Chaney Jr. brought to it.
The hook for me was how tragic he was, how sad it was. It was out of his control.
Those scenes in the fog, in the forest, are exceptionally good. And the film is very well photographed.
The Jack Otterson sets and the forest and the fog, like a fairy tale.
What the hell country is this? Is this Germany? Is this Bavaria? Is this Switzerland? Is this Italy? Where the hell are we?
It's actually set in the year it was made, but yet there's a timeless feeling.
The transformation scene is still an extraordinary moment of movie magic.
It was still a shock to see Chaney as the fully transformed Wolfman, another magnificent makeup by Jack Pierce, who created most of the classic Universal monsters.
What was scary about the Wolfman was that it was a man. You know, you still saw that this was a man, and he had wolf-like teeth, and he had some hair on his face, and that was scary.
And it was always weird to me that the Wolfman would kill people by strangling them.
Yeah. They can't exactly, back then,
is
you know, couldn't
ultimately
exactly show
an inventory of ghosts.
I read the script. It was really, really weird. Something definitely that would never, ever get greenlit by any American studio.
I hate Hollywood movies with children as happy, brainless creatures that spout one-liners. And I tried to put that in Devil's Bag on how unsafe it is to be a child. You know, many times I saw children almost kill each other.
Some of the imagery in that of the dead boy with the blood flowing, I thought it was very beautiful, and the fact that it takes place during the Spanish Civil War.
And I wanted the ghost story to be a metaphor for the war, and the war to be a metaphor for the ghost story.
An awful lot of ghost stories are about guilt, and that's largely what The Devil's Backbone is about. It's about, you know, a covered-up sin that is returning.
The way that they actualized that ghost was creepier and more atmospheric.
The creepiest stuff in that movie is probably like the little boy and like the cataract's milky eye and like him under the water.
There's such a simplicity to all of the work in that film that's what makes it truly horrifying.
A spiritual experience is not always just the one that lifts you above. It's also the one that shows you fear. I think fear is an incredibly useful feeling to have.
A guy goes up into his attic and plugs his theremin into his Mesa Boogie bass amplifier, turns it up all the way, and realizes that there are dangerous creatures living in his house, but it's really another dimension.
The symbolism just really made it a lot more terrifying and set a mood, set a feel.
It was so strange because it was an Italian horror film, but it was set in, I guess, New Orleans.
Lucio Fulci, when you look back at his work, you really can see a genius.
It was the sheer number of the undead coming at you. I mean, it was apocalyptic.
One really creepy, far-out moment, there is a little girl that reappears, and they're in this, like, hospital-type complex with several bodies around, and the girl looks over, she is shot in the back of the head, and the blast is so intense that her face is blown completely away.
A lot of women have felt at one time or another being cast aside, and the feelings that they have. And even though they might not go and kill somebody or destroy somebody's life, they certainly feel like they want to do that.
All these men who go out there and have affairs and lead these very sexual lives, and then The woman calls him on it, and she doesn't let him get away with it anymore. It's sort of a wake-up call to men out there.
He changed that perception of one-night stands, literally scared the pants back on to men.
And she just like messed up that guy.
I won't be ignored, Dad.
I won't be
I don't think anyone had ever seen a woman go crazy like that.
I'd heard that every actress in town wanted that role, and she came in and just blew him away. And she was so ballsy.
Glenn Close, she's coming off the Big Chill, I think, in this movie. She's like, yeah, Big Chill, great family movie, you know, lots of fun, fun music. Now I want to go crazy.
Yeah.
Just with her and the knife picking at her leg and the rabbit and the boilers. Just so eerie.
She was great.
Like
desperate, happy, angry, vengeful woman.
Up until the point where she put the bunny in the water,
God.
we sympathized with her.
That's the moment that everybody, oh my God, it's horrible.
I think the scariest scene in Fatal Attraction for me was
Never
when
mind, this
he
bit's
drowns
crazy.
her.
And I love that shot where he slams her face down in the water and she's like, "Urgh," she's like drowning under the bathtub.
She's dead and she's under the water and her eyes are open and you're just like, oh, she's so dead.
Just when you think it's done, it's not.
What? He comes back up out of the water with that knife. That's such a great scene.
It's like the quintessential horror film ending. And she has this like look on her face like, love me. Bang, bang.
That's such a scary moment, but I'm so glad they didn't use the original ending. She needed to be killed. I mean, she needed to go down, not on her own will.
Aggressive girls with curly blonde hair could not get a date after this movie.
It's a fantasy movie for women who are rejected. Hope I'm not scaring anybody.
Coming up, the scariest bad hair day of all time. We're counting down to the scariest movie moment of all time.
I hope I never see a Pinto again in my life. Stephen King manages to
I never
turn
see
his
another Pinto
beautiful
again in
Saint
my
Bernard into something that you will fear for the rest of your life.
Big dogs, scary. Big dogs with rabies, scarier.
There's this beautiful animal that's really sick, and this little 4-year-old kid who's helpless.
Dog attacks car, locked in car. Pretty simple story. Could maybe be a 20-minute short film. No. There is enough terror involved with this big monster dog that it takes up a full-length movie.
There was a mechanical dog. There was a dog that barked more in a Saint Bernard dog suit. There was a man in a dog suit. There was all kinds of versions of the dog, and I never really know what was what.
That first attack comes on the opposite side of the screen than you think it should. I scream and jump every time.
The worst part is when the dog gets into the car.
He's just clawing at the windshield. And you're thinking, you know, he's never gonna break into a car, but yeah, that dog was gonna, man. He was so freaking scared.
They have these little mice that had like some sort of a scent or a pheromone or something on them. They'd put that in the car with us, and they'd let the dog know that it was in the car, and all the dog wanted to do was get this little plastic mouse.
If you were to say to me, what's the scariest moment from any of the things that are made from mine, I would have to say probably that moment in Cujo where you think that the woman is safe and the dog appears in the window.
Damn.
Oh yeah, when she first gets there.
You pull while I push. Oh, I can't get it. Pull.
Your neighbor's dog that you think is cute and cuddly right now, if it gets bit by like a bat, which are very common in pretty much all of America, there's a good chance you'll turn into Cujo.
One of the first horror movies that starred Vincent Price.
Rabies is like the most terrifying disease ever because we don't have like an actual cure for it. I think they had like some kind of procedure, but it was like a 1 in a million shot. I think only like one person so far has been cured of it with that technique they did. But anyways, not only is it we don't have a definite cure for it, but by the time you notice symptoms, it's already too late. You're fucked. Yeah, you're gonna die. And that's what's so terrifying about it. It's like by the time you even notice the first symptom, you're already dead.
I think that was what actually introduced him into the horror genre, kind of taking over the mantle of Karloff and Lugosi.
He is a famous wax artist that has been burned in a fire, and now he can't use his hands. Vincent Price's assistant, named Igor, of course, under a lot of heavy makeup, is Charles Bronson, which is one of his first films.
The scariest moment is when Vincent Price is pursuing this woman that he wants to kill and make a wax statue in his wax museum.
And I love the old Hollywood screams because they're half singing and half screaming. And they hit with like the softest part of their hand. They're just kind of pummeling, weak-wristed. And she hits his face.
Everything I ever loved has been taken away from me. Not you, my Marie Antoinette, for I will give you eternal life.
By the way, that remake...
She always wants to dress like me. She always wants to be like me.
By the way, that that remake was actually not a bad remake. The remake of House of Wax was actually, they did like in 2000s. That was actually not a bad... The only thing is like they combined House of Wax with Tourist Trap. So it's like a combination of those two movies, but it's still a good movie. Pretty decent remake.
She always wants to look like me. We have problems. Bridget Fonda advertises for a roommate, and she gets Jennifer Jason Leigh, who seems like a perfectly great roommate. They get along, and they do things together. They start wearing the same clothes.
I wear this kind of clothing, or this perfume, or these are the foods I like or don't like. And you start to define yourself by your likes and dislikes. And I think when someone completely emulates those things and takes them over, that's partially your identity.
In psychology, it's called as-if personalities. They're so empty inside that they have to fill themselves up with your stuff.
To sort of know that that person is deliberately trying to perhaps take over your life and take you out of the picture and become you, that's scary.
Can you imagine having a roommate, kind of like us, and you're helping out this girl, and all of a sudden she walks down the stairs and she's got the same hair color and haircut, and you're just like,
It'll be fine. Come on.
It was awesome. You're like,
thank you.
Why did you get the same style as me? It's wonderful, doesn't it? Hey,
You've got to be kidding.
Yeah,
I don't think a haircut has ever been so terrifying.
And then, of course, they grab the boyfriend and all that. And, of course, the murdering. But the haircut is the creepiest part.
I'm claustrophobic, and when I saw The Vanishing, I literally couldn't breathe.
The Vanishing is a great psychological chiller that has become famous for kind of having one of the most heart-stopping climaxes, of the last 20 years. The story is about a couple. The man in the couple cannot commit to his girlfriend. The girlfriend then disappears mysteriously. They pull into a service station, the girlfriend goes off into the service station and never comes back. And the rest of the film is about the man's obsessive compulsion to discover what it is that happened to his lost girlfriend, Saskia.
We know almost from the start who did it. We know who the psycho is, but we don't know what he's done.
That the central psychopathic character is seen as so normal, so absolutely boringly normal. He's not Hannibal Lecter, all that stuff. He's not, Freddy or Jason. He's just this normal guy who just wonders whether he can do something terribly evil and discovers that he can.
The hero spends years trying to find out what the guy did.
Our hero agrees in the final reel of the film to take a sleeping tablet on the understanding that having taken this sleeping tablet, he will find out finally what it is that happened to his girlfriend.
And you don't quite know what it's going to be. You know the character's in danger, but you believe in your soul, because in every Hollywood movie you've seen, they're going to catch this guy.
Nope.
He wakes up in a coffin,
oh, hell
buried under the earth.
no. Oh my god. That's one of my worst fears. Because I'm claustrophobic as shit. You've never seen a bigger claustrophobe than me. Okay, you probably have. But still.
The truth
very,
is
very big
your own death. That's the end of The Vanishing.
The Changeling works so well because it's a film that doesn't rely on special effects. It's creaking doors, it's shadows, it's sound effects and music.
George has got as much
I'm gonna be honest, I have
of the
seen
reason
Changeling
the movie works. Because he's so gruff. He's so real. He's painfully human.
George C. Scott's daughter dies
They
at the beginning
hype
of the film.
it up in this little
And
segment here.
he finds a memento of hers, which is this little rubber ball. Part of his process of letting go and accepting the fact that she's died is he takes this rubber ball out to a bridge and he throws it over the edge. And he drives back to this mansion. And all of a sudden you hear this noise. It just gives me the chills.
Oh yeah, like that's creepy.
How not to hold your scissors. We're counting.
But yeah, like I said, they hyped that movie up in that segment, but then I finally watched it, and I don't know if it was just at the time it didn't do it for me. Maybe I need to watch it again with fresh eyes, because this was years ago when I saw it. I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. I don't know, like I said, maybe I need to watch it again with fresh eyes. Who knows?
Down to the scariest movie moment of all time.
People nowadays, when you ask them about demons, it was kind of this rock and roll horror film.
I went to the premiere of Demons in Rome, and the audience was just incredible. I mean, they went wild. It was almost like actually watching what was going on the film itself.
The idea that it all takes place in a movie theater. You're in the movie theater, and these demons happen to come out in the movie theater while you're watching the, you know, it's that movie within a movie thing.
It's all part of that whole, you know, Italian gore thing.
The scratching of the flesh. And I mean, it just really got to me where the actual scratching just ripped all the flesh off.
Get out! Everybody get away! Get out! What are you waiting for? Run!
Oh god, don't look, don't look. Ugh, gross.
You wear a mask, it takes away a certain ability to communicate with your face.
His parents were deaf, and he communicated with them visually, with stories, you know, without sound.
In The Phantom of the Opera, Lon Chaney probably went as far as he could go with a horrifying makeup. I mean, he turned his face into what appeared to be a skull, using all kinds of painful tricks and appliances.
He had piano wire that he wrapped around his head, and he conditioned his nose to come back so that it would look more skeletal.
It's all about body language with Lon Chaney, and you feel his fear, and you feel his pain, and you feel his hope.
Every time Lon Chaney had to be in the mask, and he had to emote, he'd build a different mask, one that was a little bit slightly more like inquisitive, surprised. So every time he'd turn around when they do that shot, you know, it almost looked like he was acting through, you know, these various layers that he had to put on.
That image of him being demasked stayed with me. It was imprinted in my mind for years.
The unmasking scene was one of the big shock moments of the silent cinema, and audiences reportedly just shrieked when Mary Philbin pulls that mask off.
Oh my god. Yeah, that. Oh my god, that's terrifying.
She scares herself. She thought she could handle his pain.
We live in a society.
That's like Peter Griffin put it. I can handle ugly, but this is like circus freak ugly. Jesus.
That to some extent lives by the gun. Would assassination ever be justified?
It's slightly atypical for a Stephen King novel because it really explores notions of nonlinear time.
Christopher Walken's performance goes right to the core of the book, which is what would happen if you had to give your life in order to change the future.
The weight of this melancholy that Walken carries is so powerful that it's a different kind of horror that we're being faced with here.
It's one of his last real starring roles. It's a terrifically sympathetic performance.
He gets this like horrible ability to see the future. Like if he touches somebody, he can see what's going to happen to them. So it's another one of those things where you're screaming at the screen, like, believe him, he can really see the future.
Christopher Walken's a psychic and he's trying to save the president, and Martin Sheen, just nobody's following and nobody believes him. And then he touches somebody and he gets a flash of what's going on and nobody wants to believe him, and it's like he's a crazy person.
The psychokinetic parts of it are the horrific MacGuffin, but what makes it work is how powerful Walken's character is.
The scariest scene in the movie has to be, that's totally Cronenberg, when the guilty assistant sheriff puts the scissors and opens his mouth and commits suicide by scissors.
The amount of force that he's going to have to hurl himself at these scissors, you know, he's going to have, it's a lot of muscular power, and on his face too.
Only Cronenberg can imagine such a ritualistic, almost Japanese-like suicide, but with scissors. and it's what you don't see that makes it the most hurtful.
Oh god. Oh, just. Ah!
We see everything we need to in our imaginations, and it's very, very gruesome.
Yeah, really.
Poke for 43.
Hey!
Thanks for following.
Which unleash your childhood fears.
Something can come in and bite you on the neck and turn you into this horrible vampire.
This is Chopper Delta preparing to raid off to designated channel at area E95070.
Oh my goodness. Oh, we got a raid from UBCS Mercenary. What's up, Merc? And we got a new follower. Poke 443. Thanks for the follow and the raid. What's up, guys? Welcome in.
Almost every horror movie now has that last little
They push the boundaries.
It's those moments when you think this filmmaker is dangerous.
They make us scream.
For half the movie, I was like,
and jump out of our seats.
First time the shark jumped up,
Was doing Re6 co-op with Lunatic and some mercenaries mode afterwards.
These are the moments we
Hello
never
and
forget.
you're welcome.
Pinhead
Oh yeah,
doesn't
I
do a
was,
decent, nice thing.
I saw some of that a little while ago.
But somehow or other still manages to get fan mail from women who would like to bear his children.
RE6, I love that game.
Presenting the 100
and
scariest
there's one movie guy on
Poke even joined for a round of mercs too.
moments of cinema shock.
Excuse me. Like this one guy on YouTube said, because that's the name of the video. It says RE6
Uggs was totally carrying me on mercenaries.
And it said
What are
Resident
we
Evil
playing
6.
today?
It said Resident Evil 6 is a fun game when you don't have somebody yammering in your ear how much it sucks. I was like, I agree. Well, not playing anything tonight. We're just watching spooky stuff. We're about halfway into it now, or actually, I was sort of halfway into it. Good ways into it. 100 Scariest Movie Moments. This old ass Bravo like TV documentary thing.
I'll be honest, I have more fun playing Re6 than I do 7 and 8.
Yeah, see?
It was the film that your friends' older brothers had seen when it would play in the drive-in. When you were a kid, you weren't old enough to see, but you just heard about how notorious this film was.
It's revolting and horrible and shocking and visceral and taboo-breaking and nasty and unforgivable.
I don't really like 7 much TBH.
I think I saw about the first.
I'm going through 7. I think as far as like a spooky game, it's pretty good. I don't know about it being I don't know so much about a Resident Evil game, but as far as just a spooky game on its own, yeah, it's pretty decent.
4 minutes of.
It has actually, I need to clip those moments too, but it has actually gotten me a few times.
Last house on the left.
To avoid fainting, keep repeating. It's only
I just knew that I wouldn't be able to handle it.
It's only a movie.
You have this virgin that is raped by a bunch of robbers, and the father seeks retribution in such a...
Yeah, what I'm watching, the viewer discretion advised. They talk of some of these movies have, like, as you just heard, some of these movies have some really graphic content. So, yeah, just be warned about that.
Simple story encapsulated kind of so much
And by the
of
way,
the human
Last House
condition
on the
about
Left.
violence.
Last House on the Left remake was better. I did see the original. It was alright, but it had way too many parts of it that were, like, immersion breaking. Like, the thing with the cops was, like, they were 2 bumbling country cops, and it's like, one minute we got the slaughter and violation of these 2 girls that are kidnapped in the woods, and then the next moment we got comedy, bumbling cop hour, and it was, like, really immersion breaking. So that's one thing about the old movie I did not like, but the remake is much better.
It's coming out of people that you never think it could come out of, or nations.
It became a sort of political statement about the nature of repressed violence in American society.
I saw something about some games are based on real life
and by
stuff.
actual count, I think there were something like 300 dead bodies.
Yeah, that's true.
And, you know,
I'm
armed
actually
with that
fascinated-
sort of
fascinated about this
philosophical
kind of game,
orientation, 2 peace and love flower children went out to make this violent film.
Sights and sounds
Think Velvet
far
Assassin,
beyond
one of them.
anything you've tested.
You think, what the hell was going on at the time that someone would think to do this? And if you think about it, from television, the images people were getting were saturated with Vietnam, and then they turn on the radio and it's Harry Nilsson music. You'd have these unbelievably violent, disturbing scenes, and then this kind of goofball folk music where they're like ripping up on these girls and you hear this wheels turning.
David Hess is terrifying. I think he scared me more than any horror monster when I was a kid.
Everybody wanted to make an anti-violent film. Well, how do you do that, given the subject matter, given the violence of the subject matter? You push the envelope.
Shoot the mom, rape the daughter, kill the dog, burn the dad.
It's one of those films that you don't think, oh, I've got an evening free, I'll watch Last House on the Left.
I just watched it again just the other day, and it feels like you're watching a snuff movie.
I never felt the really full strength of how appalling what we were doing was, even though I knew mentally, until
I'm sure
the
for the
death
time
of Phyllis, who was killed in the woods and stabbed repeatedly until she's virtually disemboweled.
Even now, the British censors will not allow it to be shown uncut.
We filmed that,
don't look, it's
I remember,
nasty.
in one morning, and when it was all over, we broke for lunch. Everybody was covered with artificial blood, and I just remember everybody went off by themselves, and nobody ate.
Diabolique is a French psychological horror film that took American audiences very much by surprise. People were calling it the scariest movie ever. People were saying it out-Hitchcocked Hitchcock.
I don't think without it we would ever have had Psycho.
It's the story of 2 women, one of whom is married
At
to a
Poke
very abusive
443
man,
I don't
the
know about
headmaster of a
carrying
boys' boarding
completely. I
school.
struggle
The
to
other-
carry myself in game oftentimes. LOL, you were able to find your center rather quickly and held your own well too. We both got a 300 out of 300 enemies defeated and survived, so that's a W.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, sounds like you did fine. Good job, children. Good job.
Of whom is having an affair with him. She's a teacher at the school. And the way the two of them conspired to kill him.
The scariest thing is where you think Vera Clouseau's husband is dead, and then she's sort of awoken at night.
That surprise, shock
moment. Don't look, it's Nancy!
Hope for 43 plays, Fart Reverb 2 for 200 channel points.
Almost cost some of the people in the theater to have a heart attack.
Stephen King once told me, look, the cliches in Hollywood are that you keep every monster
Perfect
in the
timing
dark.
with that guy
You
ripping
never
his
see
own
the
eye
face
out.
of the devil. Don't ever show it. He said, however, if you can come up with something that's so astonishing looking on screen, you'll hit a home run out of the ballpark. They'll never forget it. So being stupid, I said, let's try that.
The alien is a microscopic organism that whatever it touches, it can replicate genetically.
What Carpenter did so well is creating
Among Us
this
before Among Us
unbelievable sense of
thing,
paranoia.
basically.
We don't know who's a thing and who isn't. And it was also a chance to just let loose with special effects, something I had not done before. There's one scene that's my particular favorite. The head rips off and throws stalks and crawls across the floor. That whole thing peeks around the corner, and that took it to such a level. I thought, you know, this is so, how cool is this? It's so great. It's so nuts.
Kurt Russell has this way of actually figuring out if you're the alien or not.
The blood test scene when they're all strapped in. I mean, there's nothing better than that.
And the way Carpenter shoots it is so smart because, you know, Carpenter is like Howard Hawks. He's extremely sparse with his camera. He just makes it almost a mathematical type of montage where you're feeling rhythmically secure, and then BAM!
This is pure nonsense. Doesn't prove a thing.
I thought you'd feel that way, Gary. You were the only one that could have got to that blood. We'll do you last.
McCready, burn it!
Oh, God. Can you imagine being strapped down to that, beside that thing?
I would say it's one of the top 10 scares of my life. I never understood why it was not successful. In Mexico, it was successful. I saw it in a packed theater, and it was full of happy Mexicans seeing tentacles and viscera and liquids, and all of us were like screaming in a soccer match.
Do you see the Marilyn Manson video of him talking about his score work on the first live-action Resident Evil movie?
No, I didn't, because I didn't really care for the movies. I mean, the first one's an alright watch. But, you know.
Ads.
Oh, so yeah, sorry.
Nosferatu is, to this day, an extraordinary film and one of the creepiest movies ever made.
It is the first.
They finally had put Nosferatu on Tubi, and I watched it. Pretty simple movie, but, you know, for the time, it was pretty epic, you know?
First real adaptation of Dracula.
And I have
it is
not
a
seen the remake
phenomenal
yet.
one.
There's an insanity there. You get the sense that the guy maybe really, you know, he's really way too into it. I really like it. And this, we're talking about, you know, silent movies where everybody's overacting.
F.W. Murnau was a truly innovative filmmaker. He wasn't content just to point a camera at things that were moving and record them, and was always experimenting, was always looking at ways to use light, to use setting.
Murnau uses real locations throughout, and to tremendous effect. We go off into the mountains, which are real mountains.
The story serves so that we can watch this incredibly frightening monster.
The bald head and the distorted face and the pointy ears and the huge teeth and the hands with the long nails.
When I was a kid, that used to be one of the monsters that freaked me the hell out. I couldn't even look at him.
turn his head. His eyes go first, and then his head follows, and he does this great stuff when Count Orlok rises.
Count Orlok. Count Orlok. Look, like that shit right there. Look how creepy that is.
He's not handsome. He's not suave. You wouldn't want to go to the opera with him.
Nobody has lived in that building for 3 years.
A supermodel moves into a brand new brownstone apartment that is a portal to hell.
Oh, yeah. There is horror.
And she finds out she's the new gatekeeper.
There are scary, scary people with totally white eyes.
That crazy scene where the supermodel is walking through with one shoulder down.
Scary as hell. Scary as hell. Because you don't even know what's going on. Was that her dad?
My
Was that some
older
freaky
sister
guy?
took
Did
me
she
to
build
go
a
see a
robot and
movie
forgot
called
about
Tales
it?
of the Hood. I was traumatized after that XD. I was like 4 or 5.
Bro, I've seen Tales from the Hood. Yeah. Bruh, that was wrong making you watch that at that young age.
What do you want from me?
That's so creepy with that thing just casually strolling around.
Coming up, which moment turned diaper rash into diaper rage? We're counting down to the scariest moment of all time.
The Wicker Man! The
It doesn't
original
have your
one,
serial
not the Nicolas
killer. It
Cage.
doesn't have
Not
your
the
ghost. It doesn't have your monster created by man. It doesn't have your strange creature. The frightening thing of the Wicker Man is man's beliefs.
Whose lightest word would harrow up thy soul, freeze thy young blood.
The Wicker Man is pretty much the definitive cult movie. It's based on the idea of a pagan cult living in a remote part of the British Isles, which, in order for their crops not to fail, needs to be fed a sacrifice.
I am here to investigate the disappearance of a young girl.
In the name of God, woman, what kind of mother are you?
He comes from a British, staunch, stiff upper lip background, religious, and when he sees the people on Lonesome Rose Island being naked and just dancing around in the evening or copulating by the moonlight, he is completely aghast.
Dear God in heaven, even these people can't be that mad.
Is this place wonderful and pleasant? I mean, everybody's singing and dancing and happy and naked, but there's something very disturbing about it all, and why is everyone so secretive?
The entire time that Sergeant Howie has been looking for this missing girl, the girl hasn't been missing at all.
You are the fool, Mr. Howie.
The real sacrifice is Sergeant Howie himself.
Oh my God!
When that scene hits, you're like him, you're like, oh my God.
And the last sequence of the film in which the screaming, shouting Edward Woodward is hauled bodily up into the Wicker Man and then set fire to, even as he screams out to his Christian God and sings hymns whilst the flames engulf him, is absolutely mesmerizing.
It doesn't feel for me the way they might have in the old witch trials or Jesus on the cross or whatever. It's a group of people being like, yay!
Our harvest will be
When I was
bountiful
watching it, I
this
felt,
year.
I started looking around the room. What's going on? What's behind that mirror? Something's wrong.
It's basically about a rich guy who gets a birthday present from his brother.
He's reaching the birthday that his father committed suicide.
Here you go, happy birthday. I got you some steaks from Omaha Steaks. No, I didn't. I got you a really creepy and horrible game where this company is gonna come in and rearrange your whole life and mess with you.
That's the game, which ends up being this corporation that you think at the beginning is just sort of, a fun role-playing type of game.
game.
Michael Douglas is a character who it would take a lot to change him, to change his life, and so this game is almost more than he can tolerate. And you're never sure just how far the game has gone.
Are you following me? Find out about a company called Consumer Recreation Services.
You don't know who's playing the game and who's not playing the game, and you know where the periphery of this game is. Where does it end?
This was one of David Fincher's early movies. He's very good at establishing a mood where you're not sure if you're still in reality.
My worst nightmare, anyway, is that everyone's out to get you, and that everyone's in on the joke except you.
When he comes home and everything's rearranged, and there's this clown staring at him.
First of all, you don't know it's a clown at first. All you see is a figure lying in a very similar position to his father.
And the clown grinning, someone's laughing at you. And who is laughing at you and why?
Everyone's in on it, and you're not.
One day I just was listening to a baby very angrily cry in a hysterical fit, and I said, gee, if this infant had the physical power to lash out, it would probably wipe out everybody in the room.
The opening of It's Alive is the best thing because it's just so wonderfully wacky.
It's a real twist on what should be the happiest moment of a couple's life turned into horror.
At the moment of birth, to have your baby murder everyone in the room, I don't know, I think I'd send that one off to military school.
She starts to worry that there's complications, and the doctor keeps looking and saying, well, the head looks kind of big, but don't worry, you're fine. God, the head looks really big. You're okay.
I always think that things that are small are more frightening than things that are large.
He runs, he hears all the screaming, he runs in the hospital room.
OMG, it's Stevie Griffin.
Up next, the fur begins to fly on
Stewie Griffin.
We're counting down to the scariest movie moment of all time.
I witnessed sort of a weird burial in Yugoslavia when I was there on Kelly's Heroes. I was a flunky.
He wrote American Werewolf when he was 19 years old, and the script didn't change much from
American
that
Werewolf
time
in
until
London,
when he
that's the
finally
movie, that's
made
the
it after having the success of Animal House and the Blues Brothers.
The reason they were burying him feet first, by the way, standing up deep in this thing, was so that his body wouldn't get up and cause trouble. And the guy Sasha, the interpreter who talked to them and then talked to me, he thought it was very funny. And they were stupid peasants and stuff. And that's where I got the idea. I said, it is very funny, but what would Sasha and I do if the body got up?
And one of my favorite parts of the movie are the undead friends who are always talking to him.
Griffin Dunn keeps showing up, like, you know, getting worse and worse.
His face has been half ripped off, and then he makes a couple of other visits, and he's getting more and more deteriorated each time he comes back. And those moments are actually really creepy, and they're memorable, and they're well written.
I was trying to take something totally unreal and make it realistic. So, for instance, my guy turns into a wolf.
We've seen plenty of werewolves with lap dissolves and add some hair and a nose and the like. But to shoot a
that is probably not even one of, that is the best werewolf transformation sequence in a movie, and I don't think it's ever going to be topped.
Transformation
it's so realistic.
In full hard light, not in the shadows, not trying to hide any of the seams or anything, but showing everything right there.
I mean, they show the whole thing, and you know, it's just so creepy, and I think that he was hurting so much.
When he sees his hand go,
it looks so painful, and it looks like, you know, that you actually start to feel like you're going through that.
Especially where his face just comes apart, I can like still feel that.
horrifying, but it's really funny too, and it is so John Landis.
It was films like that that just kept inspiring you and you wanted to try to do makeup effects as good as that. You were never going to be able to, of course, but it was pushing the boundaries, and it was exciting.
If you're looking like from Last House on the Left, this is, you know, the next step. This is like Mad Max, Last House on the Left.
They wanted to see something different, but something different saw them first. The hills have eyes.
I was just doing general research on murder. Basically, I was in the New York Public Library, found this book called the Encyclopedia of Murder and Mayhem. And it had this great account of a family called the Shawnee Bean family in this, I think, 16th century that had been a feral family that was murdering people and literally eating them.
An American family who lost everything except the will to survive.
If you're faced with your life or the life of your child, you will find that place in yourself to retaliate and save yourself or them.
It's these two archetypes. You had these people, I guess, you know, from the suburbs or city life, clashing with these people in these desert dwellers.
You're driving through the desert, there's, you know, you get stuck, of course, and then you go checking out stuff. Very, kind of similar to, I guess, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
A family of people go out camping, and they run into a group of cannibals.
What began as a vacation ended as a nightmare.
You hell to pay now.
Casting Michael Berryman in The Hills of Eyes, it was kind of the crowning achievement, but at the time we just thought we have this guy that looks really strange.
Michael Berryman has got to be the most terrifying looking person. A creepy looking guy.
Shaved head, and he was just freaky looking. Every time he came on screen, I was just like,
It was very unsettling. At the same time, he, you know, he was a good actor, so he could project this character that had foibles and was sometimes scared, and he was bested by his brother, and his feelings were hurt, and you had all this complexity. It sort of captured the best of what I hoped the movie would be about, which was that the good guys that first seemed like monsters turn out to be humans too. The most appalling scene to me is the attack on the trailer with the death of the two mothers and the stealing of the baby.
How are you going with my baby?
Get out of the way, bitch.
He kinda looks like Kane.
A little bit, yeah.
The wrestler.
Just the idea that we would kill these two mothers, you know, and steal the baby. I think from that point on, the audience was just, they were terrified that they were in the presence of a filmmaker who would subject them to anything.
I saw the remake, and yeah, it's I mean, both movies are pretty horrifying visually. Of course, you know the remake's cranked up a little more. But oh my god, the dad that goes and infiltrates their little camp and gets the baby back. Holy shit, that dude turned from a beta male to a freaking badass. That's like the best part of the movie, is just watching this guy's transformation to get his baby back and take revenge.
Gothic literature and film are very much locked with a sense of place, and no one has that mastery at giving that place a dread like Baba.
Black Sunday is the first great horror movie to be directed by the very great Italian horror filmmaker Mario Bava.
Set in a spine-chilling atmosphere of fear.
One of the most beautiful black and white horror movies ever made.
Death! I've just seen death!
Having been a production designer, he wants to showcase his sets and his miniatures, and it's that love of his craft that makes all those painterly compositions in black and white so exquisite.
The opening of the film is justifiably famous.
When they put the mask and a hammer this big lodges it into place,
Oh, no.
As Oz of the witch, strapped to a stake, about to be burnt as a witch. Before that happens, a metal spiked mask.
Did the screen crash?
Yeah, sorry, OBS keeps disconnecting and reconnecting.
It was the first movie I sort of rushed back and saw 4 times in a row at the cinema. I went one day and then I just had to go again the next day and the next day and the next day.
What's the happiest place on earth but your shopping mall?
Remember when you could afford
and to turn that into, like, you know,
go to a theater?
Dawn of the
every
Dead
day
is
to rewatch
basically
a movie?
way to make fun
And it wasn't
of mall
$14
culture.
just
What
for
a
the popcorn.
place, you know, you could hole up in here for forever. There's food, there's clothing, there's whatever you need. And I love the idea of it satirizing consumerism.
Why do the zombies keep coming to the mall? They're like, well, it's just something left over from their past. They just can't, you know, when they were alive, they just came here to get everything, so they just keep coming back.
seeing the zombies in color, I don't know if that made them scarier, but it certainly made them bloodier.
I would cringe, and it was very early in the movie when they find a very small room and there's zombies feeding on a corpse. And there's just a moment where a zombie kind of rips flesh.
Tom and I would hang out at night, because we had to shoot at night in order to get into the mall. And, you know, I'd say, well, we need some new grisly way to kill somebody.
If you cast your head, we'd fill it up with, you know, corn cobs and rubbers filled with blood and cheese dip, anything on the craft service table, you know. And I took a double-barrel shotgun and blew it off.
A lot of great gags in that movie, and one of the ones that I always love as a favorite is the zombie coming towards them under the blades of the helicopter.
When the zombie walks too close to the helicopter and gets the top of his head cut off, I mean, come on.
Roger!
They're not fast, they're not strong, they're not smart, but there are so many of them.
Coming up, a hug that's out of this world. We're counting down to the scariest movie moment of all time.
Look out! Take care. You are being watched.
Peeping Tom is a unique film, and it still remains so because it's one of the very few to deal with voyeurism.
One critic said I've gone to the most disgusting areas of society, but I've never seen something like this.
You had a cameraman, you know, obviously completely psychotic, using the third tripod on his camera as really, let's be honest, as like a phallus.
It's great, you know, psycho DP.
He takes the sheath off the spike and sticks it in his victims' necks while simultaneously photographing them.
And he's got a mirror above the camera so they can look at themselves screaming with terror as they die.
Probably the scariest sequence is the bit where the mother of the heroine, who is blind, comes in and the murderer realizes he doesn't have to turn off the film.
Senses the danger that threatens her and her daughter, but is helpless.
Don't be frightened. I'm not frightened. What? So put that camera away!
Critics were so disgusted that it basically ruined Michael Powell's career. He was never really given the opportunity to make another mainstream film.
William Castle was making movies when everybody in Hollywood was really afraid of television. He would pile all kinds of gimmicks on top of his films. You had to sign a release that if you suffered a heart attack from the terror of this film, you wouldn't sue the film company.
House on Haunted Hill is a great example of what William Castle does best. A gimmicky horror movie that brought out the audiences in droves.
I'm Vincent Price,
and you're invited to my party in the house on Haunted Hill.
The House on Haunted Hill is a classic. A bunch of people invited to a party at the haunted house, and the scary things that happen, and the deaths that accrue over the course of the film. It defined one of the structures of what ultimately became the slasher films. A bunch of kids are together in a camp, and they die one by one.
It has one of my
And that poor
favorite
girl get
shock moments of all time.
When they're like knocking on walls and moving around, and they come up and that woman is there.
Oh my god, the freaking old lady is like the scariest part.
She seems to be pulled on a little skateboard or something. She's moving in a kind of a supernatural way.
That is still very scary. I studied that damn scene.
I
and
used
say,
to be
why
scared
is
to
that
watch
so
this movie
scary?
because of
It's
that
the
scene.
timing or whatever, the build up. That woman, and then she floats out. Fuck me.
Cape Fear is everybody's fear, you know. It's like a bad guy is going to come and disrupt your family.
You identify with Gregory Peck. That's the whole point. You identify with Peck and his family, the archetypal, normal, happy American family. And along comes this guy.
Feel fear. Numbing, paralyzing fear.
Frothing at the mouth. He's not mean or anything like that. He's just a guy who's just going to come and kill you.
Robert Mitchum's character in Cape Fear was a prototype for Freddy, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers.
The Truck in Duel.
Jaws in Jaws.
Robert Mitchum. I've seen the worst, the dregs, but you are the lowest.
Robert Mitchum is so ahead of his time in that film in terms of sexual predator and rapist, and not apologizing and defending the character all the way.
I got a little plan for your wife and kids. They're never gonna forget. Never.
He says to Greg Peck, I'm not going to kill your family. I'm going to defile your girls. I'm going to rape your daughter and wife and then kill them. And it's a very distasteful setup. And again, it works because Mitchum is a brute and really scary.
When he stalks the daughter in that, and the way they bring it's closer and closer, innocent Lolita. And it's very frightening stuff.
That's a very realistic kind of
It does have a lot of the mystery of the first one, but it's also an action movie.
Sigourney Weaver, now, that's a heroine that we can look up to.
When the character that Sigourney Weaver plays, Ripley, says, "Get away from her, you bitch."
Superwoman versus big bad bitchy monster.
The Queen alien, who was 14 feet tall and was not stop motion animation, we built that puppet. And I'll never forget Jim Cameron coming to me when he had the idea, and he said, "Stan, I know what we're going to do. We'll put a couple of guys in a suit, and we'll carry them on a crane, and their arms will be the forearms of the creature, and we'll puppet the legs on the outside." And I'm looking at him and going, "You're lost your mind."
And the original Alien, having one alien was terrifying, but you could get away from it. There were ways you could get away. The alien wasn't everywhere. And in the sequel, they were everywhere.
The chest burster, the face hugger, the warrior alien, and we introduced a new one, the Queen alien. We allowed these characters to become more alive by allowing them to do more than they did in the original movie.
This movie just
Goth
took me
Mermaid
totally
Gamer
by
is
surprise.
now live.
I think it was a big leap
Streaming
forward.
no
I
game.
walked up to one of those
Spooky Sunday.
tubes, and the thing leaped at me and scared the hell out of me. I didn't know it was going to do that. Jim did that on purpose.
The face hugger in the original movie laid on a face and tightened its tail around a neck. The face huggers in this movie carried an entire scene.
And one of the scariest moments is when Ripley and Newt are caught in that room where they were locked in the room with the one face hugger. Again, very much like the scenes with the raptors from Jurassic Park being caught in the kitchen. It's a sense that you're in an enclosed area. You can't get away.
TV's answer to teen sex. We're counting down to the scariest movie moment of all time.
Talking to the director, he said, here's a book, about Ted Bundy. Read it and tell me if that does anything for you. And I started reading this book about Bundy, and I went, this sucks. Because that's not the movie I think I want to make. I don't want to play reality, I want to play fiction.
It's dark and it's rainy, and Rutger Hauer gets into his car, and as they start talking, Rutger Hauer sort of lets on that the previous family that picked him up, he dismembers him, and then he says in no uncertain terms that he's going to do the same to C. Thomas Howell.
He's a great villain, and he's got that great big interesting head.
And the minute he comes on and they hit you, you're like, okay, there's something going on with this dude. He's creepy.
Rutger Hauer in The Hitcher is absolutely bone-chilling. Rutger, you are twisted, you are mad.
He doesn't want to kill him. He just wants to just ruin his life.
They sort of develop a sick sort of symbiotic relationship.
The sickest scene, the one scene I remember in The Hitch is when C. Thomas Howell is in the diner and he's eating his fries. He's picking them up, and all of a sudden he picks up this finger. that the Hitcher is cut off, and he's like, ah!
The final game is about to be resolved, which is the kid going to step up to the plane and shoot him through the head, or not? And if not, then the girl will, be torn apart.
The scene where she gets drawn and quartered in that film is absolutely taking a road movie, a road thriller, and taking it into horror.
She's hyperventilating, and you're hyperventilating.
You useless waste. And they've got, in the truck exhaust and the spinning wheels, and it's sadomasochistic and it's bondage.
Even at the end, you never sort of figure out what that relationship was. You're sort of left with, what the hell happened?
And things just start falling off. Oh! Walking on the wall, like...
Cronenberg is a true poet of disgust. He taps into a very common human fear, which is the fear of decay of the flesh and the infidelity of our bodies. The fact that your bodies betray you.
The film was produced by Mel Brooks. At the first screening of The Fly, the distributors or the publicists in question, believing it to be, a film produced by Mel Brooks based on a kind of goofy science fiction horror movie, gave out weenie boppers to everybody, Fly, because hey, it's going to be The Fly, it's going to be really funny, and the whole audience sat there with all these, these fly tentacles on their head. Oh, and then the film started, and then Jeff Goldblum's body started falling apart, and it became really not funny at all.
It's this scientist who wants to create a transporting device that goes very, very wrong. And Jeff Goldblum starts to merge genetically with a fly.
These bodily horrors are done in a way that no one else has ever even attempted, I don't think.
Most horror films work by building up tension and then releasing it in a scary scene. Cronenberg's films work by accumulating tension as they go. Oh, is he really going? Is he going to be worse this time when we see him? Is he going to be even worse this time when he see him? How could he be any worse this time when we see him?
Oh, God, oh!
What's frightening is not just the monster that the character becomes, it's the character becoming the monster.
You give birth to something else, or something comes shooting out of your stomach. Those are always just the scariest, the most disgusting, the most I can't believe this is happening to me moments.
Come on, you can push. You can push it up. You can push it up. Come on, push. That's it, come on. Push, use those muscles, that's it.
Wait.
Give us a push. You can push it out. Come on. That's it. Come on.
No, wait. No.
You can do it.
Oh, wait. Oh.
It's a pleasure to leave a Cronenberg film and to go out and step onto onto the firmament of a real sidewalk and look around at real people. But you know, you never quite look at them the same again.
Yeah, but then in the sequel, the dude looks like a normal
If you
human.
lost a loved one, how far would you go to have that loved one back? And one of those forbidden questions that led me to write this story, which I thought was so awful and so personal and so painful to write in so many ways that the idea that it would ever become a book, let alone a movie, never even crossed my mind.
This cat gets hit by a truck. Father takes it, buries the cat comes back.
The small monster in a dream or in your imagination usually represents something that's repressed inside of you.
The son is now killed, which is tragic, but the father thinks, cat comes back. Let's do it with the son.
The body as a temple is an ideal. The body is actually meat. You know, it's animated meat. But the Pet Sematary kind of shows that. Body without soul is not life.
He takes the son and buries the son, and the son comes back. But it's not the same son. I think it's pretty phenomenal that Mary Lambert, a woman, directed Pet Sematary, and that a woman could be that dark and that sick.
I can't imagine it being any harder or harder edged than it is now. The tendon slicing is the moment that seems to get everybody in the place where they really live. Just thinking about it. Ugh.
Yeah.
Where did you...
That was the one that the MPAA went after, but certainly not as bad as a chainsaw coming through the roof of the car and slicing out somebody's head or something.
It's the kid under the bed. The fact that he still looks like a kid, but we understand that he isn't a kid any longer. He's a demon. And then it's that one unprotected spot.
Oh, God. I can't watch that movie because it's the kids, man, the little baby. Can't do it. Not only because, you know, of how he dies, but then he comes back. And then they have to... God, and even though he's like, it's not even the kid anymore, it's some little creature now. But when he has to put him down, basically, he gets that I don't remember what it was, but something he had to give him a shot with that ends up putting him down finally. But God, even that was, oh God, I can't watch it. I need to stop talking about it. I'm gonna start crying. I can't handle that shit with little kids.
When you hear that,
that is so scary.
I almost didn't do it. I mean, I was so close to not doing it.
When I first read the script, I said, this is a piece of dreck, you know, and it's never going to be seen.
And in the meantime, I think this children's film that I've been working on, that's going to be the one that's going to put us over the top. I had no idea that Friday the 13th was ever going to be anything more than a potboiler.
When Friday the 13th came out in the summer of 1980, Halloween had set the stage. But Halloween, as great a film as it was incredibly suspenseful, but it wasn't bloody. It wasn't gory. And Friday the 13th really just took Halloween and the conventions of Halloween to the nth degree.
What's great about Friday the 13th, the first one, is that Jason's not the killer.
After all, this is a story of a mom who loved her son so much that she would lose her head for him.
There's nothing better than going off to a campsite where nobody else is around.
I think Friday the 13th was a anti-sex message, and the best way to treat teens and sex is just with pure carnage.
there's a drop of blood, and we recognize that above the two lovers there's a dead body dripping down, and it's like, ew, and it's like, it's so creepy, but all your focus is on the dead body above. And then, completely unexpectedly, the arrow comes from below.
Hey, that's a good way to go after having sex.
And you just and blood. Oh, it was so scary.
I fell for the ending of the first Friday the 13th as a kid.
I remember saying to Shawnee that we should do something like Carrie. Well, what can we do? I mean, Jason, he died a long time ago. I says, well, if it's a dream.
The film is over and it's peaceful and we're in the lake.
The music's played, and so you think that, okay, all these people have died, but they're safe, the police are up on the hill.
Oh, it's gonna be all nice.
Boom, my mother went up in the air, 25 feet, screamed, I swear to God. And I heard the guys in the back, like, Paramount, Warner Brothers, whoever it was, with Sean and everything. I said, Mom, I think you just sold the movie.
The scream came out of nowhere. The audience just screamed. Says, whoa, what the hell? Ah, must have been Jason. So then we watched it and forgot all about that. And then we all screamed, so it was quite the moment.
There are moments created by master filmmakers which unleash your childhood fears.
Something can come in and bite you on the neck.
For the Blair Witch Project, I always felt very comfortable. The movie theater.
The last moments of these three young filmmakers.
Leave it out.
I thought.
Or is it not? Because
the greatest moments of cinema shot.
Is this real or is it not? Because of the whole internet event that had happened.
I thought it was real.
The marketing was great. Everybody wanted to see it before it was even out.
It was important for us to explore the line between fact and fiction. Were these three young filmmakers, did they really go into the woods? Is this really a record of the last moments of their life?
They thought up a great way to torture us before we entered the movie theater.
Before the Blair Witch Project, I always felt very comfortable and very happy. Oh, nature, and after that, for like 2 months, I would hear like the rustling of a tree, and it would send a shiver up my spine.
Nobody had done anything like it before, and it was just weird and crazy, and you're on edge. You don't know what to expect, and that's what you got to do, with horror.
There's strange, like, voodoo dolls hanging from all over the place.
To see stuff come from behind or something shoot and the camera would have to turn around, that made that movie so much scarier than just the average, like, 2-3 cameras, and you saw everything come in.
When they were camping and she put the flashlight, like,
we never saw the boogeyman in that movie. We never saw the witch. We only saw what was happening.
Hearing their friends screaming in that way you could only hear sound in the woods, where you don't know what direction it is, you just hear
Hi!
There's nothing they could have filmed that could have been worse than what I was imagining.
These people are looking for the witch's house, and they find it at the end. And it used such simple techniques like child's handprints on the wall. And they said right before she kills you, she sends you in the corner.
Goth Mermaid Gamer is now live. Streaming no game, Spooky Sunday. I was away but I came with that UVCS mercenary.
Welcome. And thanks for the follow, appreciate it.
Irina JL Lee being 26. Thanks for following.
Yes.
And I look over at my buddy who's
no
like
worries.
6'2", 220 is like this.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can do on like such a low budget movie. Just yelps and shadows and screams.
The film was shot for about $40,000, and the film went on to gross domestically $140 million. This is the most profitable motion picture in the history of film.
I saw saw that
There was something very real about that movie. That somehow in the way Wes Craven captured the world of voodoo and the stories that floated out about what went on the set, that people from the crew made fun of it and then kind of got zapped with it. I really believe in it.
It's basically based on the discovery of a real-life zombie, somebody who had died in Haiti and who had been declared dead by an American doctor who later, I think a year later, turned up alive.
People are put in boxes and given this potion, and you know, they come back up and their brain's destroyed and they'll do whatever you tell them to do.
It had a supernatural element to it, but it didn't feel far from the truth. He picks very basic common fears.
They give you the Jesus juice, they put you in the box, they nail you, and they leave you there. And what happens is they'll get some voodoo priest to come and undig you, and at that point he'll put the whammy on your head by telling you that you've been dead.
That notion that these people were being buried alive made it more scary than even something that was purely fantasy.
The scene where Bill Pullman says, "Don't bury me, I'm not dead."
I'm not dead.
You have to watch what you believe because it can bite you on the ass.
I've even thought about being cremated. Just want to really make sure I'm totally gone.
I was 13. I had a 3-year-old sister, and I babysat for her, and that was kind of my gig.
Every girl hears it.
I did see Serpent and the Rainbow like a while ago, like years ago. The only thing I can really remember from it is when they attack him and they drive a nail through his ball sack. Yeah. But don't worry, it only went through the skin. It didn't actually go through his testicle. But I don't know why that's the one part of the movie that I remember the most. I'd have to watch it again to, you know, because that was years ago.
The first time she goes to babysit, somebody tells you the babysitter story. It's one of the classic urban legends.
I literally gave up all babysitting at that point. I swore off it. I wouldn't be home alone.
The power of a lot of frightening movies are the fact that it could happen.
The first 15 minutes of When a Stranger Calls are arguably the scariest 15 minutes in the history of horror cinema.
It was written so intelligently. It was a real old-fashioned sort of Hitchcock suspense movie, the way it was written, and then the way he shot it.
Carol Kane was unbelievable. She was just that low voice of hers and those wide eyes. So anytime she heard a noise in the house, she just immediately look into the camera. And then all of a sudden that great music would come into play.
And at first the calls are just a little creepy. She thinks maybe it's a heavy breather. And then the caller starts telling her to go check the children.
Asking me the proverbial, you know, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Have you checked the children?
One of the classic, literally, jolts of the film is when the terrified babysitter finally calls the police, has them trace the call, and she picks up the phone thinking it's the killer who's calling again.
Leave me alone! Jill, this is Sergeant Sacker. Listen to me. We've traced the call. It's coming from inside the house. Our squad cars on the way over there right now. Just get out of that house.
That's the ultimate scaredy cat feeling.
Never have two lines in the house.
Never have two lines in the house.
Never. People just screamed at the top of their lungs and stood up and talked back to the screen.
At that point, I sort of emotionally checked out, I think. I went into complete paralysis.
Yeah, but that's just the beginning of the movie.
It triggered.
That's just the beginning of the movie. The rest of the movie's just like it's years later and she's like got a husband. She's trying to, you know, move on with her life and all, and then the guy comes back stalking her, trying to, you know, get her because she got away. Yeah. I mean, it was a decent watch. It's just like the scariest, most thrilling, intriguing part is just that beginning part. Alright, you know what? It's been a while. Since we had a break. I need to get up and stretch my legs, and my butt is numb. So yeah, let's just take a little breaky poo, and we'll be back in a little bit. But that's okay. Love the BRB scene. Oh, thank you! I drew it myself. That's my art. That's the same one for the starting soon. But yeah, I drew that image myself. Okay! Let us continue.
Something in me as a child, hypnotically, that took me to another place.
With the success of Dracula, Universal really felt that it had, you know, found the new Lon Chaney in the person of Bela Lugosi, and were eager to, you know, exploit his talents in other frightening pictures. And it was announced that he was going to play the monster in Frankenstein.
Lugosi was very offended that he would be playing this like lumbering, stupid creature that didn't speak, and his face was all covered in makeup.
Freddy voice actor.
James Whale spotted Boris Karloff in the Universal Pictures commissary one day.
Mary Shelley's novel and James Whale's film both answer the fundamental horror question, where do monsters come from?
Now when I see some of those scenes, I just think, oh my God, audiences in 31 must have been having a heart attack.
It's alive. It's moving. It's alive. Oh, it's alive. It's alive.
The creation of the monster is the creation of the horror film.
The first time he's standing up and walks in comes through the door, it's unbelievable.
OMG, I know that
I still
movie.
can't believe how effective that makeup is, how Karloff is.
The design of the makeup is so extraordinary, and Karloff's performance is genuinely brilliant. And he manages to be really scary. I mean, there are moments when the monster looks, it's frightening, but then there are moments like when he reaches toward the light that are beautiful.
The thing with Karloff was he had those eyes. He had those dead eyes.
He just wants to make friends. He makes friends with a little girl and accidentally kills her.
There's a little girl picking flowers, and Frankenstein just kind of shows up. And it's this very sweet scene because they're, kind of plucking flowers together. And then he doesn't understand when they've run out of flowers that, the difference between human life and flowers. And so he takes her and throws her in the water.
And the Bride of Frankenstein.
No, you're hurting me! No!
Carl Laemmle Sr., the head of Universal, was particularly upset by this scene and wanted it cut. The cutting actually made it worse.
They immediately cut to him throwing daisies into the water, to the father carrying the lifeless body of the girl, which just makes the monster look more vicious.
Up next, the 7 sins get a deadly spin. We're counting down to the scariest movie moment of all time.
Oh God, I can't tell it. Oh God, oh, you made me strap on a thing and I just...
I mean, that really freaked me out.
It's that genre taken almost to an art level.
The murder sequences in 7 are art directed within an inch of their lives. They actually
I want problems always. 450
of the
channel
70s,
points.
what are called the gialli.
The way that David Fincher shot it and how dark it was and the camera angles and just this whole subdued palette of the film
Creates the sense that you're in a world that's coming apart.
He was very, very inventive in his different ways that he killed people, and they all gave you the chills.
They built it up with the 7 sins, and you were just knowing, okay, this one just happened, so it's got to be soft or it's got to be hate.
They just talked about what
the victims were going through. And they showed pictures, and the reactions of the victims being interviewed after it happens to them is just insane.
Look at this fat, disgusting
On standby
man
for
that ate
bad
himself
messages.
to death, that couldn't even pick his head up, and it just fell in the bowl of spaghetti.
The details in the murders and the details in the killings were absolutely gruesome.
They find a guy in a apartment, and they walk in, and it's a low angle again, up and it's smoky, and there's those Christmas tree air fresheners hanging everywhere, and the first thing you're thinking to yourself is, why the hell is there air fresheners everywhere? And they find this guy who looks like, I don't know if that was an actor, bro, and I hope it wasn't. I hope it was all just a dummy. It looks like a corpse.
It's dated exactly 1 year ago today.
Gotta hear.
This scene. Oh my god. Well, my head's in the way. Look at this thing. This guy looks like a mummy.
Sample, I got a stool sample, I got piss, I got fingernails.
He's laughing at us. You got what you deserved.
Your imagination runs wild, which I think is the key to a great scary movie.
That dude was still alive, and he looked like a damn mummy.
We were actually shooting in an embalming room in Long Beach, California, and while we were filming, we were being supervised by the embalmer, and there was a knock at the door, and they had a fresh corpse they needed to bring in, and the embalmer had a donut in his mouth. He goes, "Oh, excuse me, guys, I got to take care of business."
I loved Phantasm because where I lived in Massachusetts sort of looked just like the neighborhood in that movie, and the house I grew up in was about half a block from a cemetery, and there was a mortuary, so it looked almost just like what was in that movie.
The way the kids' room looks sort of reminds me of my own childhood, but also this feeling that you're a kid and that you see things that adults don't.
Angus Scrimm, the tall man, he's one of the great boogeymen in horror film.
We filmed a lot in mortuaries and graveyards, and they do imbue me.
One of the scenes in Phantasm that scared me the most was when that kid's in bed and he has a nightmare sequence and he looks up and he sees the tall man, and the tall man's looking right over him.
Oh my god.
I do think that turned out to be one of the most effective scenes in the picture, a real shocker.
Then I go to bed and I sit there and you keep opening your eyes and you can't close your eyes because you keep thinking the next time you open them, the tall man's gonna be there, and you have to kind of get out of bed just looking at the floor, hoping that if he's there, that like he doesn't notice you.
Roses are red, violets are blue, but the iris is the flower that will mean the end of
It's a film which doesn't want to follow any rules. You could very well say it was, in some ways, the first punk horror movie.
It's like Douglas Sirk on an acid trip. Suspiria is about a young American ballet student who is going to Germany to study at a prestigious German ballet academy.
When you go to see a Dario Argento movie, you're just watching horrible things happen to people in a beautiful, beautiful way.
As wicked and as violent as they are, they're beautiful. They're lavish colors.
The blood, I mean, is just like red, like you wouldn't believe. I mean, it's like almost in-your-face day glow.
He puts the gore in gorgeous.
One of the very last films shot in 3-strip Technicolor.
Dario styled it after Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and you can actually see that if you look at it very carefully. He always always saw it as like a Walt Disney horror film.
The first 15 minutes, I'm a specialist of the first 20 minutes, 15 minutes. And then this is one of my best.
He comes up with these incredibly elaborate ways to kill people. And there's one great scene in Suspiria where the first girl that dies falls through this huge, beautiful plate glass window.
Look like Ghostface.
I think the first 20 minutes of Suspiria have never been rivaled in cinema of horror ever.
Coming up, the video rental that scares you to death. We're counting down to the scariest movie moment of all time.
Something could go wrong when you give birth, you know? There could be any number of things, and this is the ultimate thing that could go wrong.
What are you going to do when you look into the bassinet and you see your child for the first time and it's the devil?
You know, there's this like special, beautiful bond between a woman and her baby that she gives birth to. I think like if your baby has like, you know, black devil eyes and horns and a tail, you know, the bonding is kind of hard.
The Dakota, which is probably one of the scariest buildings architecturally in America. Those gargoyles, that corner, Central Park, Strawberry Fields Forever and all that.
Without the music in Rosemary's Baby, it wouldn't be nearly as scary.
You saw her absolutely surrounded by all these people that could very
fire.
easily break her.
When you first find out that there are these devil worshippers at play, that gets you.
I don't like those kind of things where you're like, the whole world is against you. Like she you know, Mia Farrow was screwed, man. The whole apartment building was after her.
It's because that guy wanted to make it as an actor. That's why.
Typical New York co-op word.
The doctor tells her, you know, take these pills, don't ask questions, don't read books. Oh, okay, no problem.
I think people can definitely relate to that, to men who are stronger saying, darling, you're just overwrought, why don't you lie down? And the devil will come have sex with you. It's happened to all of us.
The scene in Rosemary's Baby, I guess when she gets drugged up and gets raped by the devil, that can't be fun.
The rape scene is just awful. It's just awful. You don't know what's happening. You don't know if it's real. You're experiencing it like she did.
It's all shot at a vertiginous angle, like you're not quite sure what's happening, and I think that that's what makes it more horrifying, is it is sort of suggested and it's very dreamlike.
When she wakes up the next morning, she thinks it was a dream. And she then discovers scratches on her body, and her husband says, oh, I'm sorry, I was a bit of an animal last night. And that's really clever, because the film is like a dream. And at the end of it, you can't quite remember what you have seen, but what you imagine seeing. And that is smart filmmaking.
Don't Look Now was based on a short novel by Daphne du Maurier, who also wrote the story that Hitchcock turned into Rebecca.
The director, Nicholas Roeg, was not somebody who was known for thrillers. He was a cinematographer turned director with a very, very fine visual eye. For a great deal of its running time, it's very much a psychological story about two people love each other very much, but their marriage has really been shaken by the death of their child. And they go to Venice.
It's what Hitchcock always used to do, of picking the location and then thinking about things.
The husband, Donald Sutherland character, catches glimpses of someone who looks like his dead daughter wearing a red raincoat. At the same time, there's a killer on the loose in the city.
Donald Sutherland finds himself in a room, in a cavernous room, with somebody standing in a red Macintosh, apparently weeping in the corner of the room.
Facing that character and not sure what's going to happen. You find it in films ranging from Blair Witch Project, where you get it at the very end, to The Sentinel.
Hi. I'm nearing the end of a stream. Oh. Yeah, so if you heard me go, my mom's home.
To Dario.
Oh, goody. Okay. So how was work? Same old, same old. Same shit, different day.
Argento's Phenomena to Psycho. He backs her into a corner and says, it's all right, everything's going to be fine, thinking that what he's doing is finally saving the child that he failed to save in the first reel of the film.
Riemio 18 played Far Reverb 1 for 200 channel points.
Thanks for the 2 on the suspenseful scene.
It's in fact the person who has been committing the grisly murders which have been going on around the edges of the story all the time.
18 played Far Reverb 2 for 200
horrified
channel
to see
points.
those hopes dashed.
It's like, that's what it is? It's a dwarf in a raincoat?
Exactly. That didn't make no sense.
When the movie screened in New York, I invited like 50 of my friends to come see it. And it was really fascinating because some of them were just absolutely pissed off about the movie. I mean, like really, like violently angry. Some people came out going, oh my God, that was like an acid trip. Other people came out.
Riemio 18 played OIIA Cat for 200 channel points.
I need to figure out how to stop it from reading that out. I watched Jacob's Ladder mostly because it was one of the movies that, one of the things that inspired the original Silent Hill games. And yeah, it's a trippy movie.
And we're really like just moved by the movie.
Most horror films go very chronologically, whereas this one throws you off. You know, not only is the protagonist confused, so's the viewer. You're not sure what's real and what happened first.
Tim Robbins' character, he's a Vietnam veteran, he's a mailman, he's a very regular guy who is having what are either the most horrific hallucinations of all time or is being tormented by the
Are you doing
creepiest,
the live
most
tomorrow?
deformed demons of all time.
You weren't sure if this was a
I
Vietnam movie? You weren't sure if this was a supernatural movie? You weren't sure if this was just a movie about some guy's psychosis?
What is going on? This is this alternative universe. It's really dark. What's that creeping in the corner?
We know he was in Vietnam. We know he played with some drugs. But the things that we're seeing...
Every once in a while you catch a glimpse of like a tail coming out of someone's back, or...
You'd freak out, I remember that.
And then like you'd have like a head, like somebody, you'd see somebody in distance and they're like going like this.
Shake their head back and forth like this and you can't focus on them. You know, it's just...
That freaks me out.
Just tricks you, man, because it starts off very sexual, like dance scene. Elizabeth Benyo's all hot, like young and spicy, and she's all over Tim Robbins. And all of a sudden, his tail comes in, and she gets all evil, man. And then you just go, hmm.
And then we start hearing
I don't know if some guys
flapping.
are into that. Some guys would still be
And then we see sort of a tail-like thing coming up in between her legs, moving towards her. And we're like, is she being attacked? Is she becoming this creature?
And you freak out because you're right there with him. It's like the one moment that you have safe passage and all of a sudden she's a lizard.
Oh my God.
And you're screwed.
Alright, hold on, guys. Alright, there we go. Yeah, we were on here. Oh yeah, thanks for putting, thanks for letting loose the Kraken in my chat again. Appreciate that.
And you're screwed because you're dancing with the lizard.
We all sit down I put a sea monster in chat.
Innocent yes, thing, which you
would never.
Oh, another thing, about Jacob's Ladder that they weren't mentioning for some reason was another thing that was like, what could possibly be going on as he was looking into. He thought maybe the government had experimented on them and did something to them. That was another mystery of it.
Never imagined could be twisted into some horrific moment, but suddenly these filmmakers have figured out a way to really turn that on its head, and it becomes something.
I gave him a name, Jack Sparrow.
It's so scary. It's so scary, and I think it's a scary movie because it just seems like it could happen to you.
You know, one of the things that horror does, it lets you deal with your fear, right? Because you're containing your fear in the experience of watching a film, and then once the film is over, you go home. The Ring actually suggests that the act of watching can kill you, right? You watch this videotape and know it's not going to be okay. A week later, you're going to be killed in some way.
Okay. Scariest scene in The Ring. Hello. I hate even thinking about it, is when the little girl comes out of the well.
When you see things that you've never seen before, and you just can't help but be impressed, and if they're well shot and they come as a complete surprise, it gives the film a real potency.
Nothing like an anemic, pasty girl to scare you again.
It was just this shot of this decrepit-looking girl, and there's nothing scarier than a decrepit-looking 8-year-old.
Great makeup job on her face, and it was Rick Baker. Brilliant, simple, but totally effective. And just the way it's shot and the way that she's walking, and it's just really a beautiful, sublime piece of creepy filmmaking.
Yeah, first of all, you think the movie is over and you've had a somewhat happy ending.
She goes to her son and she says, oh, it's all okay. We let her go. We did it. And the kid goes, no, you shouldn't have let her go. She's terrible. She's evil.
All the images have been contained. I mean, they're on the tape. They're contained on the TV screen.
So the person's not sure if they're still looking at TV or is this thing really coming until pow!
Yeah, and it was like, no, you actually shouldn't have done that. Now you've broken that little barrier. You made her more powerful. I don't know, I'd be kind of like, what's her name in Scary Movie 2, where she squared up with her. Get the f out my house, bitch, and just started beating on her.
This moment, again, where reality is gone.
She breaks the third wall and crawls through the TV screen. It's so scary!
Coming up, a moment inspired by children who died in their sleep. We're counting down to the scariest movie moment of all time.
Well, I was sitting next to my mother, which slightly changed the dynamic. She wept when my name came up and was spelt right. And I said, Mom, that's really the best thing that's going to happen. Now I'm afraid it's just going to be sex and violence for the next 90 minutes.
Clive really caught people off guard. I mean, he brought S&M to horror.
Truly the first film that brought a kind of sadomasochistic pain.
S&M, buddy. What's wrong with that?
Pleasure and pain, everyone has a subjective idea of what that is.
Evil is fun, torture is love, murder is affection, is all these things reversed. And what could be scarier than that?
His visuals in his films are just so creepy and so unsettling.
I went to my local library to find a book on film directing. And they had two, but they were both checked out. And I thought, I'm so I don't even have a book.
One of my most favorite things about a good scary movie is if they have good monsters. And the Cenobites are good monsters.
Pinhead is a jerk.
The worst of the Cenobites for my character, Kirsty, because he was the leader.
He's just creepy, man, and the chains whipping around. I mean, he does it all with his head, man. He controls chains.
The villain was this weird box.
The audience doesn't know what to expect as they're opening this Pandora's box. You don't know what experience is going to happen.
Parker's a freak.
I mean, everybody in that film seemed to me to be in some kind of sublime pain. And it was equal parts S&M, Club, Hieronymus Bosch. I mean, that film really, truly entered my subconscious.
Pinhead, who doesn't do a decent, nice thing through 8 movies, but somehow or other still manages to get fan mail from women who would like to bear his children.
Pinhead.
Yes, it is.
We'll hang out later.
I remember a very short story they used to quote in some
That's the original
analysis of horror literature. They used to say the last man on earth is sitting alone in his room. All of a sudden, a knock on the door.
The genesis for the film is Robert Wise having read Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House. And he tells a story that he was reading the book and somebody came into the office and scared the hell out of him. And he thought, well, if that's sort of, if I'm that jumpy from this book, this is probably going to make a pretty good movie.
Hellboy, I love
What
that
does
movie.
it take to convince you that the dead do not always rest in peace? That some houses, like Hill House, are born bad?
This is a story about a group of people who go to a house that's supposedly haunted and they're supposed to record any supernatural activity. And the only thing, literally, that you as an audience member actually experiences in terms of the supernatural is knockings on the door, some kind of shaking furniture, and yet it becomes it's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
The Haunting is really a tribute to the dictum that less is more.
There isn't a monster, there isn't a special makeup effect.
You don't see any ghosts. You don't see any blood.
When the whole group is huddled together in the living room and the doors start to bend in from the force outside.
And I remember saying, wow, no monsters, no makeup. That was good, psychological.
God, it knows I'm here.
For 3 years, I had sent that script around to the whole town of Hollywood, and everybody thought it was either stupid or boring or just gory or whatever. I knew by the time we were filming it was going to be strong.
Wes Craven had come across a few articles about some teenagers who were absolutely terrified to go to sleep.
Middle of the night, they heard these horrendous screams.
My favorite horror movie.
He ran in, and he's thrashing on his bed, and ran to him. By the time they got to him, he was dead. They did an autopsy on him, and there was nothing physically wrong with him. And I just thought, my God.
Wes described how he wanted to fool the audience about when the moment of reality ceased to exist and when they were actually into the dream, and how this was his goal. And that's what really intrigued me.
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock
You are my
your
favorite
door.
Every time you hear that in any of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, you know something bad is about to happen. Here's a guy who's been probably burned over 90% of his body, and he still wears a hat that covers some of that scarification, which is a sort of weird vein thing.
Those nails, the claws,
And the scraping against the pipes.
What is that?
The idea that he's a child murderer and that she's going to avenge this terrible crime that he's committed against her own family, that's a direction that I always had inside of me.
Because he's a dream figure, he can basically do anything. He can transform himself into anything, into a phone, into any kind of creature. And so that's what makes him so powerful, because how do you resist sleep? How do you resist dreaming? He's everywhere.
Everything was a little bit jerry-rigged on our set, just because we didn't have a lot of money.
For my money, it's the revolving room scene where Tina just gets her brains bashed out on the ceiling.
There was something about the vulnerability that she was just in her underwear, and the fact that her boyfriend was trying to reach her but he couldn't. There was no explanation for how she was up on that ceiling, because this guy's in the shot too, and it just worked really strongly.
He just drags her
all around the bedroom by his finger claws on the ceiling, blood everywhere, and she's just screaming, and it's just so painful, and they don't cut it, you just watch all of it.
Leatherface grunts and he makes noises. Michael Myers doesn't say a word. Jason doesn't say anything. But Freddy really has personality.
There's a reason that New Line was, and in some circles, is still known as the house that Freddy built.
Freddy really has that universal appeal where he will terrify kids kind of under the age of 10. Anyone 15 and up, he says funny jokes and they enjoy it.
And the audiences loved Freddy so much, we exploited what they loved best about Freddy, which was this cruel sort of gallows humor that Freddy had, sort of jamming teen culture back down its own throat.
Coming up, a nurse from the hell makes a house call. We're counting down to the scariest movie moment.
Did stream
of all
crash?
time.
Yes. Oh, there it goes again.
The Thorns have been a
again.
family
Sorry,
of
guys.
tremendous wealth, position, and power. The perfect marriage of Ambassador Robert Thorne and his wife Catherine was fulfilled by the birth of their son, Damien.
I've met like 3 Damiens, and it's like, why would your mother name you Damien?
When the child was 5 years old, something terrible happened.
I was at the hospital, Mr. Thorne, the night your son was born. I saw its mother.
The baby is the son of Satan.
You're looking at the devil incarnate. You're like, he's the devil, and he's on Earth.
You put a little kid in a scary little suit, and you're halfway home. You know, that's scary. Kids in suits are scary.
The nanny is on the balcony, and she says,
Look at me, Damien.
It's all for you.
It's all for you.
Jumps out the window and like hangs himself. I went, okay, this is just too creepy.
The photographs all have these strange flaws, the omens of the title that portend how the people are going to die.
Was it an accident?
They just cut that guy's head off. And I'm watching it like spin around in slow motion as it cuts his head off. I went, oh, they really pushed it.
There are those who will die for him. There are those who will kill for him.
It's at night, and you've built up this knowledge, this awareness that the nanny who's moved into this family's house is an apostle of the devil.
Tom, is that you?
When you get that close-up of her face, you realize, oh my God, Lee Remick is God. Just that last shot, which is Damien staring straight at camera in close-up and smiling.
the little boy waves at the end, and the music, and he's so cute. But, I mean, who can name their kid Damien after that?
Todd Browning is one of the unsung directors of all time.
Metro had seen the amazing success Universal had with Dracula and Frankenstein, and, you know, wanted to do the ultimate horror film.
One of his closest friends was Harry Earls, you know, the midget, and it was Harry Earls who actually came to him with the idea of doing Freaks.
Browning assembled the largest collection of sideshow performers that had ever appeared in one place.
Apparently there was more diva demands on this movie than you could possibly imagine. They really went Hollywood, the Freaks, on the movie. And of course Browning indulged them.
This created some real problems at the MGM commissary. People were really upset that Siamese twins and pinheads and armless, legless people were sitting at the next table.
I always loved Freaks, I mean, because, you know, it was real.
What he does successfully is he makes you totally comfortable with the freaks. So instead of being repulsed, we learn to like them.
There's the famous scene at the end where Harry Earl, he has like this beautiful woman who he's engaged to. She's an acrobat. and the other freaks catch wind of the fact that she just wants him for his money. Where a circus freak makes so much money from is anybody's guess. But okay, he was rich.
The most frightening scene in Freaks is obviously the climax, where the circus performers have their revenge.
There's that wonderful moment when they're going gooble, gobble, we will make you one of us. And it's joyous and it's freakish, but it's happy. You share the revulsion of the villains, but you also share the joy of the freaks.
It's all done in very, very silent movie imagery, you know, flashing thunderstorms.
There's this one guy in there who has, it's a head, he's a head, it's a black guy, and he has no body. He has literally like a sock.
Goth Mermaid Gamer is
There's
now
no
live.
arms and legs, it's his thing.
Streaming
and
no game.
He rolls a cigarette
Spooky
with his
Sunday.
tongue and lips.
I can't roll and light a cigarette with 2 hands and 2 feet and a cigarette rolling machine.
With someone helping you.
Yeah.
But in the rain, when they're coming to kill them, there's this shot of him crawling along the ground with a knife in his mouth. And I was thinking, what the hell's he going to do with that?
Yeah, he's just like a torso.
We are back.
That's one of the all-time pinnacles of shock in cinema. as far as
Maybe
I'm
is that
concerned.
the
If you
half
wanted
a
to
guy
remake
just
Freaks, you go,
running
yeah,
on
we're going to
his
use
hands.
real,
Like, take it.
deformed children and, you know, adults in our movie as the stars. I mean, there'd be no way.
You do feel so strongly for these characters. They've been pushed to the edge, and they actually are going to do to this human woman what nature has done to them.
That last shot.
Halloween's innovation was one, Halloween. You know, I mean, actually taking Halloween and the concept of the boogeyman and putting teenagers in jeopardy.
This was a work for hire, okay? My job was to make a movie about babysitters in the Midwest being stalked by a killer, and you set it on Halloween. That's it. That's what Irwin Yablans wanted. That's the kind of exploitation horror movie he wanted. The rest was me. I was trying to make something out of it.
There was something so simple about Mike Myers that is just great. A person who killed as a child, and he's been in an asylum his whole life, and he broke out on Halloween night.
My production designer, Tommy Lee Wallace, we didn't have any money on this film, so he went up to a magic shop on Hollywood Boulevard and bought back 2 masks. One was a clown mask, and he brought back a William Shatner Star Trek mask.
There was such a blank face that the audience could project anything they wanted on it.
As I've said, I owe my entire career to William Shatner.
Carpenter, is a real one-man band of a filmmaker, and very importantly, composed that really distinctive piano.
The moment he was about to kill someone,
I came
all of a
across
sudden
your
you hear
stream really solid energy and great potential.
The music's
I can connect you with a Twitch-partnered streamer who consistently streams to thousands of viewers and has over 1.6 M followers. He's known for mentoring rising creators, helping them grow real communities with authentic viewers, followers, and active chat engagement. If you're serious about leveling up your stream, reach out to him on Discord. Germa0980, tell him Rashford sent you.
After that come Friday the 13th, of course, and Tom Savini gore effects. But in Halloween, you virtually don't see a drop of blood. It's all about terror.
The biggest screams in Halloween come after she's killed him in the closet.
I want you to go down the street to the Mackenzie's house. I want you to tell them to call the police and tell them to send them over here. Now, do you understand me? Go do as I say.
Your attention is focused on Jamie Lee Curtis. It's a nice close-up. You can see that she's tired, but there's a little relief coming.
And they say, no, no.
Oh, no. You know. Oh, God, she just put a hanger in his eye.
Man, is it simple. Guy with mask and knife stalks teenagers. And here we are all these years later, still watching it and still talking about it.
There are moments
come in.
They scream,
and I jumped.
Never forget.
Right to bed.
Moving moments, a countdown of the greatest moments of cinema shot.
It was fantastic. It was the most scary thing. We watched it like this, and I still can't watch it all the way through. It really does frighten me.
I first passed on it because I was in one of those crises where I think I've got to do a normal film. And so in this opening where the girl is gutted and everything else, I said, I just can't do it again. And then I was doing an appearance someplace, and some little kid came up to me, you know, I love Last House on the Left. You should do something that really kicks ass again. I thought, God, I must be getting soft. And I literally called up Bob Weinstein and said, you know, okay, let's do it.
When Scream first came out, I thought, well, is the horror film dead now? Once we make a film that parodies it, the kids are very savvy about, you know, what kinds of rules do you have to follow to not be killed in the horror film. It's really a film about the horror film audience.
I was a huge fan and read the script and thought this is so different than most of them. It kind of made it was like a little bit of a spoof, but it was still really scary.
I had never seen a script that was quite like this. It was a horror film, but it was and a slasher film, but it was also a murder mystery. And then it was also a soap opera. So I thought, wow, it's got these three weird elements woven together. This is going to be good. What Bob Weinstein was able to do was first say, I'm going to put real money into this film, and I'm going to get really known actors and actresses.
I wanted to play Gail Weathers because she was just a real bitchy character, and I thought it would be really fun to play something that wasn't, you know, I was on Friends, and I played this nice girl, Monica, but Gail was just so ruthless.
At the beginning of that film, Craven delivers an absolutely beautifully pitched teenage slasher murder.
It was really a pure Wes Craven kind of setup.
To make a really strong horror film, you need to nail the audience almost immediately. And you don't need to hit them as hard ever again in the film until the ending. And that opening, I knew if I was able to pull it off, would do it.
This is how you do a terrorized teenager gets
Goth
killed.
Mermaid Gamer is now live. Streaming No Game.
A is speaking
Spooky
from a cell
Sunday.
phone, which had not been done in a film before, and B is smart.
It just set the tone of the entire movie.
What's your name?
Why?
Oh, because I want to know who I'm looking at.
That is gives me the chills just to think. I mean, just to think you're in a house and there's all these windows around you and you don't, and someone is watching you. Please leave me alone.
Answer the question and I will. What door am I at?
What?
There are two main doors to your
Goth
house.
the stream
front door and
keeping
the patio
stopping for
doors.
me.
If you answer correctly, you live. Very simple.
Don't do this. I can't. I won't.
Your call.
I know it's doing it to me too. Like I said,
You have Drew
OBS
Barrymore, we feel like we're safe, and boom, she's dead in like a heartbeat, and all of a sudden it's a free-for-all. It's anyone can go at that point.
Because it's become iconic so quickly, it's hard to see it as scary anymore. The first time you ever see the caped figure in the mask with the black cloak, it is scary.
It's all about the fear that artists have that if they've gotten a success in a certain area, that if they change or grow or do something different, that their fans will leave them, and the feeling that their fans will hate them.
I've had some experience with fans that are clearly a little bit loose in their shoes. They don't have, their elevators don't go all the way to the top.
Famous writer finishes his novel, comes down from the mountain. It's a tradition he has. He wrecks his car in a snowstorm.
Kathy Bates comes and rescues him
yeah,
from the
that's one
snow.
of
She
my
puts him over her shoulder. She's so beefy. She carries him back. She puts him in a bed in her house, and you're like, oh.
You got that warm fuzzy. He's gonna be okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine.
James Caan was completely and utterly stir crazy by doing this movie, and every day he would come to work, and I would say to him, okay, now Jimmy, in this scene, I want you to be in bed.
Most of that film takes place in a bedroom. So, you know, like Hitchcock's Rear Window, to keep the tension alive in a movie like that takes a lot of technique and craft.
The scariest thing about it is just that idea, you know, because I have some nutty fans. And I'm always a little worried, you know.
Love can turn into a really sort of perverted thing.
She's like, oh, did you write that book, Misery? Because I love that book, Misery.
She was so
frightening. What made it frightening was the fact that she was so sweet. You could feel like she likes to bake cookies.
The movie doesn't work without her, or without somebody that could, play that character as well.
When I saw some of the dailies, oh, she was to die for. She was so good. She just inhabited that part.
I personally don't get scared at the Freddys and the Jasons, the whole thing, because I know it's made up. I know that, but when it's a real person who actually could harm you, that to me cuts deeper than anything else.
She's got the log, or whatever she's got, that thing, and she kind of puts it in between his feet, and you're like, okay, well, what's she doing there?
It was the ultimate moment for her to make sure that he wouldn't run away.
And there's nothing he can do, and he's just laying there, and he knows what's gonna happen, and his eyes just get bigger and bigger and bigger.
I mean, that's just like, okay, it really went south after there. Whatever you're thinking about doing, please don't do it. Any for God's...
Shh, darling. Trust me.
For God's sake.
It's for the best.
God's sake, Daddy, don't!
Wham!
Oh!
Everybody went, oh!
You see that freaking
and
foot
moved,
go
and the
sideways.
it became this very mobile moment.
She put that block between his thing, and then she just clobbers that foot. You're like, no, 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 no. And then his foot goes sideways.
Great shot of the foot. Swings to one side. Now, what it really is it's a foot model that's been filled with jelly.
Andy Scheinman, I think, came up with the idea of putting the block of wood between his feet so that when she hit his ankle would just, go whang, like a swinging door.
After that movie, I didn't walk for 6
Goth
weeks.
Mermaid Gamer is now
I just
live.
sat on a chair.
Streaming No Game, Spooky Sunday.
I think that right now, the only people that are making real horror movies are the Asian horror films, Japanese horror films. They're so unbelievably terrifying.
Audition, I just found so deeply disturbing on every level. I found it so creepy, I didn't like it.
I never feel creeped out by movies. I just watch them and kind of enjoy them. And that was the first time I watched it, just starting to feel.
I don't know if I can handle
this movie is creeping me out.
It's a good creepy movie.
Audition is such a brilliant film because the whole movie is a build-up to the last 15 minutes. And so few films do that anymore. This guy meets this girl, and they set him up as the nicest guy in the world. And he holds this fake audition, and he meets this girl, and he says he's gonna call her. And she's like, yes, I'll wait for your call. And then you see her, and she's staring at her phone. And you're going, oh my God, she's insane. And then this sack just starts rolling around and you hear a human voice, and then it cuts away. That terrified me more than anything.
Slow, and it just kind of like sneaks up on you when it happens. It so shocks you.
So they just build up this tension like a tightrope. You just feel like it's this cable that's gonna snap. And then the last 15 minutes of that movie, you can't even look at the screen.
The girl in the movie is so likable and so nice, and just when the finally shows her in her apartment, and he's like the guy in the bag.
And this guy, he's missing his legs, he's missing his fingers, he's missing his tongue, he's missing his ear, and we see her vomit into a bowl and feed it to him.
That's so disturbing.
Then we go right into the torture scene.
What is going on? Just like...
She's there, she's in her white dress with her black leather apron, black leather gloves, and she's ready for some meat work.
It really messes with you.
She's so soft and sweet, and her torture weapons are very delicate, very slowly, plunging the acupuncture needles into his chest.
Riamio 18 played you brought you for 100 channel points.
What's
that?
Working exactly. On his foot.
What's that, brother?
Oh yeah, it's really disgusting, disturbing. Like I said, I don't know if I can handle that movie.
She's just diving into it with this girlish glee.
It's like so out of control.
There's some horror movies I go, well, this is unpleasant. Why do I want to be here? You know,
Living in New York City, I've dated a few psychos, and there's sometimes where you're on a date with a girl and you're like, oh my God, this chick is totally nuts. And Audition is like the ultimate version of that horrible, horrible, horrible date scenario.
Audition remains too real, I think. And genuinely, you think, what were they thinking?
Coming up, a Cinderella story by way of Stephen King. We're counting down to the scariest movie moment of all time.
Wait Until Dark is based on the stage play by Frederick Knott.
He was very famous because he'd done Dial M for Murder for Hitchcock already.
Audrey Hepburn, the role you're going to remember whenever you're alone.
Audrey Hepburn, does she have a doll stuffed with heroin or not? 3 criminals are trying to find out if she does, and they're going to terrorize her until she gives it up. What Terence Young, the director, did, which I think was really clever, was actually set it in a basement, and it's all completely enclosed like a prison cell. The reason I think the film works so well is because of Audrey Hepburn. The audience always loved her in anything she did. I mean, they always wanted to protect her. Alan Arkin, who plays one of the greatest villains of all time in this, I think, really nasty. He sort of does it semi-hammy, but semi-evil. It's a brilliant performance.
What a blackout scene does is it forces the audience to fill in the blanks. But this blackout scene, in addition, makes us blind, the way Audrey Hepburn is blind.
During the last 8 minutes of this picture, the theater...
The scariest moment of the blackout scene is where Alan Arkin has been stabbed.
He's moved all the furniture in the way, and she's sort of tripping all over it.
Window.
Oh, shit!
Alan Arkin leaps out and says, boo! And the audience goes, yeah!
And I remember everyone leaping out of their seat at that moment. It was one of the biggest shocks anybody had had since Psycho.
Suddenly being literally confronted with death. Mortality, am I safe? Oh my God. You know, so it's a very effective moment.
Oh, God!
We actually finished Night of the Living Dead here in Pittsburgh, threw it in the trunk of the car, literally threw it in the trunk of a car and drove to New York with it to see if anybody would want to show it. That night, while Russ Streiner and I were driving in New York, we heard on the news, on the car radio, that Martin Luther King had been shot.
As a young black theater person, it was refreshing to see a film that had what I thought was one of the few African-American leads.
To have a black hero on film was something that was not common at all during this time.
I wanted it to be more about revolution, a revolutionary society, literally, in this case, devouring
Are
the
we
old.
back?
Completely outrageous, people, half nude and eating human flesh and everything else. And then at the end you realize, my God, this guy has made a political statement.
That whole image of what we as society do to ourselves in order to sustain ourselves at the expense of our fellow man.
We were trying to make a little horror movie that had a little more to it, that had some, social satire, but we never thought that it was going to ever become what it's become.
Basically, all the people who are zombies were friends of theirs or people who lived locally. They had a friend who was a butcher who just donated all these kinds of pieces of meat for the, body-eating scenes.
Candyman, Candyman,
no money at
Candyman.
all, and yet it became a huge cult success.
I was playing like in a different state, and I had to ride 2 hours home on my bicycle at like 2 o'clock in the morning all by myself.
Mix that documentary style with the black and white and people eating people and, and you're in the drive-in, you're in the car, the car starts at the end of the day.
That's the first time that I was scared. I
was really scared by a movie.
Just the absolute relentlessness that no matter where you turned, there was something or someone that would get you and kill you.
There's a sense of claustrophobia in that film that's unbelievable.
It could be a kid, it could be your grandmother, it could be your parents, it could be your wife, your boyfriend.
The monster is the neighbors, and to me, the scariest thing in the world is the neighbors.
Man, that was like, you had never seen anything like that.
We were trying to push the envelope a little bit and not cut away when the zombies, start to eat people. We wanted to stay with it.
It just opened my eyes. It was like, I've told George this many times, it's like that's where I realized that a horror film can be, it can go as deep as you're capable of taking it, and as high, and as long as you scare the shit out of people.
Harry.
High school is hell, and the further down the ladder you are, the more like hell it becomes. And for kids like Carrie, it's really like the ninth circle of hell.
The girl no one likes.
We're all sorry about this incident, Cassie.
It's Carrie!
It's Carrie!
And I said, wouldn't it be fantastic to give them powers that would allow them to get back at the kids who torment them?
The girl with the strange power.
If I concentrate hard enough, I can move things.
It does start out as your typical teen movie.
Just this incredible portrait of a teenage girl.
It really touches a part in you that feels ostracized. It was such a great film, and she was so vulnerable. And I mean, everything from her first period in the shower, it was so painful, and the embarrassment that she went through. And hey, Norma, she wants a tampon.
And everyone makes fun of her. The girl who lives in that creepy house with her crazy mother.
The relationship between Carrie and her mother, some of the scariest things I've seen on screen.
Her mother was such a whack job.
All the biblical references and calling them her dirty pillows.
Help the sinning woman see the sin of her days and ways.
That really, really scared me in that film.
It's basically the Cinderella story as done by Stephen King, isn't it? Going to the prom, something horrible happens, she doesn't lose her glass slipper, but she just...
Oh, for goodness sake, I did something to my damn headphones. Hang on.
Goes, berserk.
It's horrifying. And then you look at her eyes and you realize something really bad is about to happen.
Carrie lets the bitches have it.
And then at the very end, Amy Irving, Susan Snell.
She's walking down a street. She's in a pretty dress. Everything seems very calm.
He asked the actress to walk backwards, and he filmed it in reverse, so it looks like she's walking forwards. But it creates this very dreamlike, very slow, very
Why
kind
does
of
Scream keep
unnatural
glitching?
pacing.
I don't know.
She goes to the grave and she puts flowers down on the grave. In front of us, there are two huge African-American men, 250-pounders at least. They're screaming like children. They're grabbing each other around the neck, and one of them says to the other, that's it, she ain't never gonna be right. And I looked at my wife and I said, this movie's gonna be huge.
Coming up, a massacre inspired by the power tools at Sears. We're counting down to the scariest movie moment of all time.
Silence of the Lambs was the first horror movie that swept the Oscars since One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Jonathan Demme sent me the script, and I thought, this is the best horror script I've ever read. And the beauty of it is, the monster was not a creature. The monster was a man.
Buffalo Bill was a scary-ass killer. Totally insane and totally terrifying, but isn't trying to be scary.
The dance that he does.
It puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
He's sewing the skin together of all the women that he's murdered.
The character of Hannibal Lecter, who was just so appealing to the public. He's just the most kind of sophisticated individual you can imagine, who manages to kind of manipulate people around him and spectators into actually forgetting the fact that he's a cannibal.
If you met him at a party, you would want him to like you.
There's always the joke that he likes to eat his victims with Chianti and, and fava beans.
Hannibal Lecter is, if anything, operatic.
He's the kind of guy you want to quote, you want to hang out with. You're on his side also in a lot of the film, which is really upsetting, I think, to a spectator, that the film really tricks us in a lot of ways into kind of being on Hannibal's side, as opposed to Buffalo Bill, who's, in a lot of ways the real monster of the film.
When he escaped it and killed the guard, he killed him gleefully. He killed him in a way that said, "Oh, I'm out of here, man."
When he splays and butterflies, that guy, when he escaped that cage, I mean, that is nasty.
He's in a cage. He's in the middle of this huge room.
Give me one of these guys.
Lecter's out there somewhere. He still wants to eat people.
Goth Mermaid Gamer is now live.
Me, and we saw it at the movies.
Streaming No Game.
I had to go to the bathroom
Spooky
afterwards,
Sunday.
and I made him come into the girls' bathroom with me.
I just love that kind of elegant.
I was ahead in the 60s. And I don't mean I was ahead of other people. I mean I was ahead. Dropped a lot of acid, did a lot of peyote, got stoned, went to see 2001, kind of like, oh wow, I was thrilled at the idea that he was going to make my book into a film.
So many people, you hear the soft people, yeah, I don't really like horror movies, but they always love The Shining.
It was so eerie and strange, and it's one of those movies that you had to see a few times to actually uncover more and figure out.
You have a family, which you can already sense is having issues. Going to a hotel in the middle of nowhere and being left to take care of it with no one else there.
You're scared for them before anything really starts to happen.
Most horror pictures, when the scary stuff starts, then they find the phone's out and the MR's running.
Goth Mermaid Gamer is now live.
They're so
Streaming No Game.
isolated,
Spooky
and the
Sunday.
quiet is what gets to me.
The hotel was given all the space in the frame, and the characters were often quite small within the space, and so you're feeling that the hotel is becoming a character in the film.
You feel the cold, and you feel the loneliness, and you feel the sort of weirdness.
Jack Nicholson's son on that tricycle.
On the wooden floor, and then over the carpet, and then the wooden floor and the carpet, and just the sound effects there, and it's weird, but it gives you this creepy kind of sensibility.
One of the most terrifying images from that film are the two little girls.
Which scare me more than Jack Nicholson with an axe.
Come play with us. Come play with us.
It's something that's been satirized since. But the first time that you see it, it's dreadfully unsettling.
The scariest thing about that movie is the things that are unexplained.
And there's the scene where at the end where Shelley Duvall's running through the hotel and she looks down all these different corridors and she just sees a guy in a bear suit and another guy in a tuxedo.
I have an old friend
and
over
there's
for
some
dinner.
kind of sex thing happening. You don't know what's going on, but you know it's not good.
When Jack Nicholson goes into that room, there's like the beautiful woman in the bathtub, and he's kissing her and turns into that hideous woman. It's disgusting.
You don't know whether the horror that takes place is the product of the hotel or is the product of the Jack Torrance character.
The most frightening part in the movie is where Shelley Duvall goes downstairs and she looks at the novel that Jack Nicholson has been writing all this time.
Picks up that top page and sees the words, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, written over and over and over again on reams and reams of pages in different configurations. What's scary is the look on Shelley Duvall's face, and it's wordless great acting.
You realize not only that he's going crazy, but how long he's been going crazy.
How do you like it?
That to me is one of the scariest moments in all of movies.
That's a truly frightening thing, to realize that you're living with somebody that you don't even know.
Dear Johnny.
I was in a shopping mall, and the crowds were closing in. I was wondering, how in the hell can I get out of here? And as I had that thought, I found myself, I was standing in the hardware department. My focus from the crowd racked focus into close-up, and there's this display of chainsaws in front of me.
What happened was true.
Toby is this quiet, self-effacing, sweet man who is capable of thinking ways that you wouldn't dare think.
And one of the things a piece of fiction like Texas Chainsaw Massacre could present to us is that this is the real thing.
Like a snuff movie or a documentary or just some newsreel footage. It didn't feel like a movie.
The most bizarre and brutal series of crimes in America.
Yeah, here's something. Stop! Stop!
I saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre mostly like this.
That's just an all-around creepy movie, like, you just feel disgusting. Yeah, that's like I gotta take a shower movie.
I think it got banned actually in New Zealand, and it was before the time of video, and there was just no way to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But a company in England released it on Super 8. I remember being so affected by it that I watched it, and as soon as it was finished, I wound the reels back and I started it all over again.
This was a movie where it's very much about the killers and what goes on in their world and what happens, and it's so disturbing and creepy.
They're at the dinner table every night, you know, they're respecting their grandfather, but at the same time, they're, you know, eating flesh.
Putting the hammer in Grandpa's hand to try and help him club his last victim it's really funny. It's sick, but it's really funny.
And it's another one where you're watching like, are these actors or did he just find crazy people to be in a movie? But boy, these crazy people sure can't act well.
The way it was shot in daylight, so unconventional, complete horror.
There's no doubt that the scene where Leatherface just suddenly comes out of that doorway, and it's very naturalistic, and you're kind of getting bored, and you think, come on, what's going to happen? And suddenly, whoom, and bang.
And Leatherface grabs him, just hits him, and there's this,
oh, and it made that crack sound, and then boom, you're down.
slams the door and you see this.
He's in the lair now. He's in the cave of hell.
You don't see anything in that movie. It happens behind closed doors. And your mind creates what happened.
And that's the genius of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, is that it's essentially a bloodless film, yet it's remembered as being one of the goriest, bloodiest films of all time.
Coming up.
Yeah, it's really not that bad.
Evangelists claim Satan was actually on this film. We're counting down to the scariest movie moment of all time.
Psycho. Whenever you're in the shower and you can't really hear.
Psycho is the most shocking movie of all time.
I still envy
Also,
anybody who doesn't know what Psycho is about and who goes to see it for the first time.
Hitchcock said, no one can come in after the movie again. And he had to convince theater owners that this was worth their while to do. And of course, it was an enormously successful device.
Good afternoon.
Here we have a quiet little motel.
Psycho was a novel by Robert Bloch. It was based pretty loosely on the real-life case of Wisconsin cannibal killer Ed Gein.
People lived alongside Ed Gein for ages, and then they discovered that he was a necrophiliac. The terrifying monster may be the guy sitting next to you.
Anthony Perkins, up until that point, had been playing the boy next door.
And in this house, the most dire, horrible events took place.
This was about severe mother issues. He had a very controlling mother.
Norman!
Yes, Mother?
Who's that girl you're talking to, Norman?
Oh, she's a nice girl, Mom. She's really all you would love her.
She's a whore! A filthy whore!
I think some of her clothes are still in this wardrobe.
It's not particularly showy. It was made on the cheap.
All of the people that worked on his television show were working on the picture.
The idea of killing off the main character of your movie, 30 minutes into it, you know, is just so brave.
She's going to be safe. She's a big star.
You think you see the stabs, you think you see the knife going in the body, you don't. It's all very elliptical. Bernard Herrmann's music. How simple are those violins just sort of like screeching away in the background, but how effective is it?
What the shower scene did was set you up.
The only person that's left for you to relate to is Norman Bates.
When he puts Marion's body in the trunk of the car and drives it in the bog and it sinks and then stops.
I heard screaming.
We, the audience, are going, oh my God, he'll get caught.
The scene where I jumped was Martin Balsam's coming up the stairs.
When we see that door open a crack, we are terrified for him.
Every muscle is tense, everything about your body is tense.
The way in which the scene is constructed and shot is like a dream.
And when he's falling down the stairs, it's so surreal looking.
Dropped out the first time I saw it because I felt like I was falling backwards. It's almost like, okay, reality has just been killed.
Yeah, I went nuts. It was terrifying.
The victim tumbled and fell with a horrible crash.
Every slasher film, no matter how exploitative or cheaply made, has a dark, threatening psychosis. And every psychological thriller, no matter how polished or pretentious, has inside of it a slasher film waiting to get you. And Hitchcock invented them both.
Oh, number one isn't The Exorcist? I'm surprised. Word of advice, do not watch that remake with Vince Vaughn. It's garbage.
Something beyond comprehension is happening to a little girl on this street. In this house, a man has been sent for as a last resort to try and save her.
Things happened that were beyond anything we had ever seen. We were shocked into terror.
I know people that...
And thanks to a little phenomenon that went on on YouTube and the rest of the internet, about 10 plus years ago.
Hello, Weeb.
Oh, hey, Al Weeb, I didn't see you there. I can't watch this movie now because I was traumatized. A little phenomenon called the Age of the Screamers. Those stupid prank videos. I can't watch this movie now because those stupid videos.
At Riemio18, hello.
That used those images. Ruined it for me. Scarred me.
As a kid, the adults that went to see that movie and were like in therapy afterwards.
Billy Graham, the evangelist, said that there was an evil hiding in the celluloid itself.
That was the one time that I fully felt like this filmmaker has
Goth Mermaid
no
Gamer is
system
now
of
live.
morality or ethics
Streaming
or
no game
about what he is going to
Spooky
show,
Sunday.
and that's really scary.
To really
reach deep down into the chill factor of your soul, you know, that's The Exorcist.
First night where Mom's gonna let me babysit my little brother, so it's just the two of us home alone. We're like, let's watch The Exorcist.
No.
That was a good move.
I told my mom that I snuck in to see it, and I think I got in trouble, but I needed to tell her because I wasn't like, I wanted to get grounded, so she would like hover over me a little.
Strangely enough, there's no gore and there is no sex in it, despite the crucifix masturbation sequence. It's those moments when you think that this filmmaker is dangerous. I think it's that sense that this guy is dangerous. He's going to harm me psychically, you know.
It's happening to this little girl who's done nothing wrong, and there's no reason for her to deserve any of this. And the most horrible force in the world has taken over this little girl, and it's done in such a realistic way.
Battle between good and evil, and the power of Christ compels you, and you totally buy it. It takes a basically ludicrous premise. You know, Satan is in the body of this little girl, and somehow the church, when they're not molesting young boys, will protect us from Satan. And it makes you totally believe it.
The first time that the little girl spoke in the demon's voice, I mean, that was shocking.
Your mother sucks in hell. That was the worst, the absolute worst.
She starts speaking in Italian to the one guy, and he's like, Mama? No, devil!
And all of a sudden, like green vomit just spits out, and she spits it on a priest.
Dump the holy water in buckets!
I don't remember a second of wondering how they did something in The Exorcist. It was like, oh, you know?
It was almost like a documentary of what would happen if the devil possessed somebody.
When she just turns and her eyes change, and I just remember feeling this like,
you didn't see, well, that's what I expected Demon to look like. It was like, oh my God.
Oh my God, look at what is happening to her head.
Dick Smith, who is one of the great makeup effects artists of all time, built a complete body and a complete duplicate head that would be able to do that.
That moment when her head spun around, a Hispanic lady stood up from her seat, screaming in Spanish, and ran out of the theater.
God, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, by this sign of the Holy Cross of our Lord Jesus Christ, who lives and reigns with the Father and the Holy Spirit. Damien!
Amen.
God, defender of
The hair on the back of my neck went up, and I'd never had that happen before in my life. I thought that was just a figure of speech. I was so frightened I considered running out of the theater. It was like, you're just like hanging on. Your brain is completely befuddled by it.
When you suspend disbelief like that, when they make you in the moment, that's a great film.
Coming up, the scariest moment of all time. We're counting down to the scariest movie moment of all time.
Than The Exorcist. Oh,
you got sort of the best of both worlds, of the fantasy world as well as the reality.
It was unknown times 1,000.
Goth Mermaid Gamer is now live. Streaming no game, Spooky Sunday.
It's Halloween in space. Simple idea, and you play it through.
Alien, they always classify it as science fiction, and it's not science fiction, it's gothic horror.
It solves the ultimate problem of the haunted house. Why don't people just get out of the house? Well, in Alien, there is nowhere to go.
And it even had, like, you know, Harry Dean Stanton going, here, kitty, kitty. I mean, it had classic old dark house put in this new setting.
That run-down, beat-up-looking future.
Any movie that's that claustrophobic scary.
If you look at Kubrick's 2001, that was the white-collar space. And then you look at Alien and all the Alien rip-offs, it's blue-collar space.
But when you first saw that Giger design for the first time, it was so insane.
Giger's design of that creature was totally nightmarish. The way Ridley shot it, I couldn't comprehend what it was, and I couldn't really see it.
You never saw that creature until the very end. You saw a tongue, you saw a face, you saw slobber.
Some of those aliens had like really weird tongues.
It's a very sexual film because it's about people getting violated.
When that thing was on John Hurt's face,
yeah,
and then like the, you know, its penis went into his mouth.
It inseminated it.
Whatever it was, whatever it is that went into his throat.
I don't think it was a penis.
I think it was alien penis.
The absolutely hands down scariest scene in Alien alien is the scene that looks as though it's the calm after the storm.
Ridley Scott kind of lures you in with this naturalistic conversation. And I think there's a naturalistic conversation which feels very much like improv.
It's all normal, and they're eating.
Sort of having dinner, basically, eating those sort of space crackers.
And then John Hurt starts to cough.
A lot of his success had to do with the misdirection. You just absolutely did not expect that to happen.
Completely unexpected, and it goes right to one of the core fears of human beings, is that you don't want anything to get inside of your body.
I just felt like I had gotten such a sucker punch.
What the hell is going on? That got me. I had to change my underwear.
And that look on Veronica Cartwright's face when she gets sprayed with the blood, I mean, it's real. It was terrifying.
And that wonderful little moment where it goes before it runs away, because it was so startling. They made it very real. They took something ridiculous and made it very real.
I sat there frozen like this for the rest of the movie until it was over, and then I went outside and I threw up everywhere. Alien was the first movie that made me barf. That's why it always holds a special place in my heart.
Number 1. Oh, Jaws!
There is a creature alive today who has survived millions of years of evolution without change, without passion, and without logic. It lives to kill.
Some ideas are so obvious, they're right in front of us all the time, we just don't see them.
A mindless eating machine.
How could we not have known there was the best, exciting, suspenseful movie to be made about a fucking huge white shark that ate you up?
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I remember leaving the theater. We went to like, I don't know, Denny's or something. I had to go to the bathroom, and I was in the bathroom in Denny's, still somehow feeling as if I was going to be attacked by a shark.
I'm in a swimming pool with chlorine, and I'm like, shark. Shark is coming.
The theater was so sold out that I had to sit a few rows back. And I remember the first time the shark jumped up, and I jumped. I didn't go out and around like, Daddy. It was just boom, boom.
That same alien is a guest character in Mortal Kombat, and that face hugger is a Bertle in Mortal Kombat X.
My DNA.
Yes, I know.
It's not as if a shark never ate anybody.
I like how when you do the fatality where the face hugger gets them, the little baby pops out, and it could look just like the parent. Like any character that has a hat, the baby has a little hat on it. Oh, hang on.
It's not a made-up scare.
No matter what you do, it keeps coming. And every time it comes again, it's angrier and hungrier.
You see the point of view of Jaws, and they're these little flailing kid legs.
Jaws is one of those miracle movies where apparently everything went wrong. That
Read
could
the
go wrong.
book.
There was
years
this
ago.
amazing
Oh, God, hold on.
mechanical
I guess I'm gonna have to do this every time. All right. Anyway, I read the book, and the part where Alex Kittner gets killed is like super graphic in the book.
Shark, and it didn't work, so he couldn't shoot it as much as he wanted to.
I was reading
That's
it
one
and
of
I
the
was
things
like,
that helped build our terror.
To be quite honest, I mean, the shark actually delivered, you know, which for its time was quite remarkable. When Roy Schneider's chucking the offal off the back of the boat and he's talking.
Yeah, why don't you tell your queen to come down here and chow me? You gotta do that. And then the shark pops up.
And he slow ahead. I go slow ahead. Why don't you come down here and start chucking some of this shit? And then that big shark head comes up and his head just shoots up.
It's that perfect, like, reaction where
Yeah,
he bolts
the way
up and
his-
it's like the whole
Yeah.
audience had that same reaction too.
The music was an amazing element. It's the portent of something. That music makes you know, uh-oh.
The film opens with a scare.
Oh,
The
Lord,
girl
he
goes
coming.
skinny dipping. She like rips off her clothes, runs into the ocean. She's like feeling good. Hey, what's your name? Huh? What?
She goes into the water, and the guys following, they're kind of drunk.
It's nighttime and I'm in the ocean. What could possibly happen?
Goth Mermaid Gamer is now live.
How you doing?
Streaming no
you're
game.
thinking of her
Spooky
legs
Sunday.
being chopped off,
He's
or
like
the
starts
side of her
hyperventilating.
being bitten. You're thinking, you're not seeing it, but you're thinking it.
Such a vulnerable feeling, and in this vast ocean where help could be so far away.
It cuts right to a fear that you have, that everyone has. When you go swimming, something like that could happen at a moment's notice.
And then she's gone.
Tuesday.
Alright. Is Bravo even still a channel? I don't know. Just thinking about that. Okay, guys. Hey, okay. So that's gonna do it for this Spooky Sunday. I will try to be on tomorrow with some kind of gameplay. Let's see if there's anybody to raid. Let's see.
Bahia.
Bahia. Let's see. Oh, we haven't raided Shia Bun in a while.
Bye.
Let's see if we can raid Shia Bun. Let's see. Oop, I think that was the wrong slash. Hang on. There we go. Alright, we're gonna raid Shia Bun.
The glitchiest stream ever.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. So, anyway, yeah, I'll try to be back tomorrow. Yeah, see y'all in the next one. Bye.